I'm Paul. We are back with some more Stray. Maybe some Skyrim later tonight. We'll see what happens. But for now, I want to continue playing Stray. So let me get the chat pulled up here on the iPad. As always, we are double streaming both to Twitch and YouTube. There we go. Alright. So we left off here. By the way, I downloaded the soundtrack to this game to my phone today, and it's actually really cool. It's actually really good. All right, so where did I leave off? I think I'll hold on. Did I okay? I grabbed that. Now, did I go and talk to? I think I did. I think I already did go talk to the one dude, but I'm gonna double check. Alright. Whoops, nope, that's the wrong way. Alright, I need to get up here. And in here. Okay. Okay, so I had to do that already. Hello everyone in the chat saying hashtag justice for Phil, hashtag where's our favorite speaker, Phil McCracken, hashtag Paul ignores Phil. Phil, are you actually in there with me?
I'm in here in the channel and I'm always ignored.
Dude, how am I supposed to know you're there if you don't say something?
They have the little ding when someone pops in the channel.
I didn't hear the ding, okay? But there you go, Leia Rose. That's where Phil McCracken is. He is right here.
The abuse that I suffer is intolerable and...
Hey, don't be starting that now.
Oh, no. I have to learn my lesson. That exploded in a way I don't want it to explode.
Of course.
Joking, of course. I'm only joking.
We know.
I'm putting they put that message out there, so I need to put the message out there, Paul, just in case. I don't want no one getting it.
Yep. So...
Paul's not an evil guy. He's a good guy. He just forgets me, that's all.
I'm forgetful.
So how was your day?
Tiring. Very tiring. In fact, before dinner I even shut my eyes for a little bit.
When it's hot and humid, and even if you're in air conditioning, I always feel a need to take a nap if I don't want to take a nap.
Yeah. And the thing is, anytime I take a nap like that, I always pay for it later that night. Oh, hold on a second. There's someone I forgot to say hello to in the chat. Hello to Matt Rissman.
Oh, no.
And he's asking, where is my Buster Bar, Phil McCracken?
Always ask. Look, I am not helping him cheat on his diet.
Oh crap. Gotta get these things off me. Shoot! Did I not? I wasn't fast enough, and those little things ate the cat I was playing.
I just want to say for the record, Matt Risman couldn't handle being like me because right behind my house, 3 minutes away, is a Dairy Queen.
Oh?
And so far this year, I've been there one time. Matt Risman, on the other hand, would spend the whole day there. He's an addict for Dairy Queen.
Oh, please. In my town, there is both a Baskin Robbins and Dunkin' Donuts in the same building as each other.
And it's hard to ignore, isn't it?
No joke, actually. Yesterday was the first time I had been there in months. Because it's just... There's other places that I like to go better for that kind of stuff. Like there are better places that I think make donuts than Dunkin' Donuts, and I think there's way better ice cream out there than Baskin Robbins. And yes, Pacific, you may hop into the voice chat.
For $9.99, anybody can hop into the voice chat.
No. That's just Phil McCracken trying to make an extra buck.
Or two.
Yeah. But anyways, Pacific, I'm guessing you saw what I had sent you? Have you heard the news, by the way, Phil, that Vince McMahon has officially retired, and as of today now, Triple H is head of WWE Creative?
I heard the rumor that was going to happen, and now that it did, but personally, I think what he's doing is he's not going to be retired like he's saying. I think he'll be behind the scenes pulling the strings.
I don't think so. I think this is real. I think he really is retired.
He wouldn't know what to do with himself.
I know he won't know what to do with himself, but at the same time, especially with this with these scandals surrounding him, I just don't see that the company will let him stick around.
No, I don't think they would officially like him to remain as the face, so to speak. But behind the scenes, yeah, you're not going to do away with somebody like a Vince McMahon totally. I mean, you might push him aside. Don't get me wrong. But as far as let's give him the credit where credit's due. When it comes to wrestling, he knows his wrestling.
Yeah.
And as far as releasing a little bit of his control, he did that. I ain't blaming Triple H, but, you know, Triple H running stuff with Vince McMahon behind him, it's still the WWE. So.
I know. But like I said, I don't think it truly will be Vince behind the scenes. I think this is like completely it for him.
You know, I'm gonna do what's best for business. And if I feel that stepping aside is best for business, I'll do that. But you better know darn well that if I feel like coming back into that ring, I will. And I might just put Paul from Fandomology and Phil McCracken in a heck in a cell.
I will warn you.
Hey, Pacific.
If I was ever to go into a ring and be a match, I will fight like Ric Flair. I will find chair. I will never be stupid like I don't mean that he is stupid, but I would never do like Nick Foley. You know,
and
my man destroyed himself.
And we all saw what happened last time I stepped into any sort of ring.
Well, you know, Paul, the problem was you weren't inside a heck in a cell during that lightsaber match.
I don't think it would have made a difference.
Oh my god! Paul just threw Mexican Iron Man off the top of the cell onto the announce table.
Well, hey, I might have inadvertently gotten a rematch out of him after he had seen the latest incarnation of my movie ranking list, given the fact that Alien is at the bottom.
Yeah. I was watching Pop Culture Breakdown at that point. And, Paul, why didn't you change the list before you went on? You knew that
because I was
both Doomcock and Mike. You're
darn right. I knew. You're darn right. I knew.
He could have said was my list is not in order. So that way they.
Oh no! That list was 100% exactly where I want it for now.
You want to give Doomcock a heart attack, don't you, or a stroke? You're just determined to take old people out one at a time. I see this now.
No. What Paul's goal is to become the future ruler of Earth, and Doomcock's in the way.
Don't let Doomcock hear this. Alright, where to next?
Paul, can I say something real quick?
What's up?
I just want to say, for the record, so everybody fully understands, you and Mike understands, but I just want to be clear. I joke, I tease, what I write into the chat is nothing but joke. I don't hate Matt Risman at all, but he's still not getting his Buster Bar. I love Paul to death. I love Mike to death. I joke around. Anything I say is always in a joking fashion. I mean no harm, nothing to take anything seriously. I just want to be clear on that so that anybody, like if you see me in Pacific's channel and I joke with Pacific, I'm not going to burn down the Ivy in Wrigley Field, though it is very tempting. Yeah, I joke, and only joke.
He's also, by the way, not going to burn his Star Wars memorabilia, Felix.
What's left of it?
What's left of it?
Oh, and I'm going to give you... I had this documentary I've been saving, and I know we have a truce on this, but you need to watch it. It's the... John Dever, his crash and everything, but they mentioned in there something I need you to hear.
Okay.
So, not on the stream, it's not for a stream, it's just something for you and me to share that... Yeah, that... Just something for you and me. Just you know.
Alright, fair enough.
Yep. What people need to understand is Phil's the ultimate troll.
Yes.
In a good way.
He's the ultimate heel.
We call him
He's the ultimate heel if you want to put it in wrestling terms.
We call him our pet troll.
Hey, anybody try to cross my bridge and I'm the troll underneath the bridge, I'm collecting something. Something. Be it a Scooby snack, you know, a trinket here and there. Yeah.
What? You want to cross my bridge? What? Without my permission? What? But yeah. What do you think about these last few days with WWE?
It's been absolutely wild, man. I don't know, like, it's the day that we always knew would come, but now it's here, and perhaps not necessarily in the way that we thought. Like,
no, none of us would have thought that Vince would go out this way. We thought, you know, he'd get to a point where maybe he would finally retire, but he'd have this, you know, edition of Monday Night Raw and then an edition of SmackDown, and you know it would probably be WrestleMania where he says goodbye.
Yeah, and who knows? He still might. He still might, because he has yet to actually give his official goodbye.
True. And what better place to do it than at WrestleMania?
Exactly.
Don't do it at SummerSlam, don't do it at Survivor Series or the Royal Rumble. Wait till WrestleMania.
Exactly.
I wish that it was done on his terms as opposed to how the situation came about.
Agreed.
And you know, I'm still under old-fashioned. I still think innocent until proven guilty.
Oh,
until
me too.
It. But I think something needs to be changed where people accept a money settlement if it's true. Like I said, don't know if it's true, but if it's true, if these people accepted a money settlement,
they're just as guilty.
Then it doesn't. I know he's still guilty. Then they need to give that money back if they're reporting him now that this happened. You see what I'm saying? You can't accept the money and say, okay, I'm going to accept the money and be silent. And then years later decide, well, this happened to me. Yes, it happened to me, but you accepted money as a settlement. I mean, that's wrong too. And let me say this: Vince McMahon is from the old school, and what I mean by the old school, he's with the big honcho that's still alive, but even accused about it. There was even an article today, and I'll not mention his name. You guys can look it up yourselves. The lady now says he was thinking that that he was a Don Juan. He didn't, according to her, he didn't smell too good, but yet you were going to sleep with him to get a role. And as long as you were getting the roles and sleeping with him to get the role, you were fine with it. But then when they decided you're not getting no more roles, now you have a problem.
That sounds that sounds like some hashtag Me Too BS.
That's what I'm saying. It is. Like I said, I'm for people, and I think it needs to be said that people, when something happens to you, don't wait 5 years, don't wait 10 years, don't wait 20 years. As soon as it happens and you're able to report it then and there. The waiting to 20 years, that's not cool. I understand there's a lot of drama with that, but you need to report it right away. And if you decide that you're going to make a settlement with somebody and you're accepting cash for your pain, then...
Well, hold on. Who wants to accept cash for their pain? Cash is...
Not cash money.
I know. Hey, I joke around
I was
too.
trying to make a joke.
I know. But I'm just saying, these people, like I said, according to the rumors, there's 4 people that Vince McMahon supposedly paid. Well, if you accepted the money, then to me, you settled. It's like a car accident. You settle, once you get done your settlement and you sued and you settle in court, it's done. You can't go back and re-sue, And I think I don't want to call it double jeopardy, but in a way, it's almost double jeopardy. And believe me, I don't like the juice guy, just using him as a thing.
What are you talking about, brother?
Whoever you believe or you don't believe, the man was found innocent in court, but found guilty in a civil court, which I think is BS. How can you be found guilty in one and not guilty in the other? Either he's guilty in one court or not. You see what I'm saying? It makes no sense. And the civil court stuff, to me, is nothing but, okay, we're going to get some money from it. So the crime didn't really matter. It's the money that's really going to matter. I don't get that.
And that's part of the reason to briefly touch on this subject and move on. That's part of the reason why I do not believe the allegations regarding Michael Jackson, because if indeed what they say about him was true, why didn't they go for a criminal case instead of a civil case?
Totally. I agree 100% on that.
But anyways,
I hopefully that gets straightened out. I hope it does one way or the other. And I think him retiring is an ability for him to focus on that, where he can't focus on defending himself while he's trying to run a business.
No.
So.
And also head of creative.
But anyways, though, Pacific, how do you think Triple H's head of creative is going to go?
Well, I saw your message and I had responded to it, and basically what I said was, I wonder if Triple H is going to try to bring back in some way the Attitude Era, Attitude Era 2.0, or in this case, Attitude Era 2022, with Raw being TV 14.
I think you could make an argument that he kind of already did back, during the best of the best days of NXT. And that what he's going to try and do is just replicate what he did in NXT.
Give a little bit credit to Steven Regal, because he had a lot of good ideas.
Yes.
A lot of good ideas.
And let's face it, right now, WWE and Triple H could use someone like that. But he's over in AEW.
Yeah, that to me was a mistake. I mean, kudos. He brought back, I loved it when it was in WCW, War Game. That is awesome. I wish WWE had a version of War Game, kind of like The Shield versus Evolution. in a war game style match, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
They need some old creativity, like a Steven Regal, but then again, they need some new writers with some new blood, because some of these storylines that they had recently is garbage.
Well, also, I had mentioned this to Paul the other day. I wonder if we're going to have Triple H reaching out to both Sasha Banks and Naomi and try to get them to come back.
I would at least try. You know, give them the chance to be like, hey, we're not,
It's a new era. It truly is a new era.
I see the Sasha Banks and Naomi deal is kind of like the Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard when they left the NWA. You know, and they went to WWF. Angry, hurt, don't like the situation that happened. We're going to leave.
Hello, Crit.
hey, Crit.
But
What are you guys talking about?
We're talking about the recent news of Vince retiring, and now it just came out today that Triple H is now head of creative for WWE.
That's good. That's good. Remember back, have you guys seen NXT? I think it was like 5-6 years ago. There was this really good NXT, and Triple H was, I think, handling NXT.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it was because, when you had guys like Kevin Owens coming in for the first time and just the way the crowd reacted to him coming in and his, interactions with Sami Zayn, El Generico.
Not to mention everything involving Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano.
Mm-hmm.
Is Kevin Dunn gonna get fired?
I saw a video today speculating that, but we don't know for sure.
No more action camera angles and. I think he was partially part of the why I was. I don't know. I think Vince McMahon leaving is not just good for WWE. It's the right step into growing.
I think
Because
you're right.
I think WWE has always been held back by Vince McMahon controlling everything, and he's old and he's kind of just out of touch with the people.
Well, also, and I want your opinion on this too, Crit. You know how Vince McMahon has banned certain wrestling moves in WWE?
Mm-hmm.
Not just banned certain moves, but banned certain terms and phrases. Like wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
He hates that. And I don't understand it.
So,
As Jim Cornette always says, it's a wrestling show. What's wrong with it being wrestling? You're watching wrestling. What? See, he was talking about Kevin Dunn too. Kevin Dunn's like, it's not wrestling. It is wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Yeah.
And
the name of the company itself is World Wrestling Entertainment.
Yeah, so give us some actual wrestling.
for me, I've always felt like WWE needs to change with Vince McMahon leaving. And that probably was cemented in 2015 with the Royal... You probably remember the Royal Rumble of 2015.
Oh, yes. The one where Roman Reigns became public enemy number one.
Yes. And it was such a horrible push. I think that's when I stopped watching WWE. Was after... I think it was the WrestleMania with Sting after... or
It was WrestleMania 31 in 2015.
Yeah.
So you're right.
And just as a side note, Sting should have won that match against Triple H.
Yes, that was bullshit. Oh, I mean bull crap. No word.
oh, wait a minute. Phantomology is now TV14.
This should be the Attitude Era. Yeah,
Nope. We still gotta go through our new generation era first. and Phil McCracken is our Bastion Booger.
I would love to see Triple H, like, you know, the wrestlers that had problems with WWE. I would like to see Triple H fix those issues. Like, I would like to see CM Punk come back.
They never recovered from CM Punk leaving in the first place. When he left, that killed a lot of their ratings right off the get-go.
Well, and the fact he left when he had this awesome feud with Brock Lesnar. It was just so, like, Paul Heyman versus CM Punk, and it kind of just ended, which is disappointing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, but at the same time, he was completely justified in why he left, because he got in his mind disrespected by having the belt for one of the longer reigns of the early 2010s and barely ever holding the main event, not to mention everything that happened with the Doctor. I forget what his name was.
Well, it's not a secret, but at first he did it with that Ryback dude. That Vince McMahon always had a thing for the Ryback, the Brock Lesnar look.
Yeah,
he always had
really
a
didn't
need for
always-
bodybuilders.
Yeah, and that was never, even when when it was the WWF and they had some of them great body lifters during that time. They were good, but they never were great. And Brock Lesnar, let's be honest, today he can be there. 6 months from now, he can be doing something else. Whatever off the top of his win. Company can't run like that. Your company can't run like that. And WWE has, for the last 10 years, maybe longer, have a thing for, we're going to create these superstars, and then they lose them for other entertainment purposes. And they have nothing to back them up with.
Yeah,
I mean
that's why they don't have The Rock anymore. That's why they really don't have John Cena anymore. And
they never
all signs point to Roman doing the same thing, going Hollywood.
And they never had the backup. You know what? Your mid-card, when you start get the inkling, and you're a head of a wrestling organization, you get an inkling your main superstar is going, then your number 2 and number 3 has to be ready right then and there, and the company, to push the second and third people up into the top slot. Yeah. And WWE did not do it. They tried to do it with Roman Reigns and kept forcing it. Roman Reigns is good, don't get me wrong, but he is not the person.
Roman Reigns now is actually the best he's ever been.
And the best thing they got.
Yeah. You know, ever since he came back as the tribal chief, he's been, let's face it, the best thing that WWE has had going.
They need to have, I'd say another heel group that is dominant. It doesn't have to be a 4-man or not even have to be a 3-man. Just another group that dominates the bad side of the company that you want them to represent the bad guys. And you need a 2 guys that you can start promoting and make them out to be the heroes. Whatever you want to call them, heels and faces, whatever you want to call it. They need that. You don't have a Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair. You don't have a Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. You don't have
a Macho Man, yeah.
No, they don't. They don't. And here's the thing. On what you said, Phil, regarding a bad guy group, the last truly successful bad guy group that they had was the Hurt Business, and that just ended. It just fizzled out and ended. We do need another good thing of a good group of villains.
And we need I like the idea of one manager on one side, 2 managers, one good, one bad. Like when you had Bobby Heenan and you had Jimmy Hart, I mean, that was, having somebody on the outside that, able to play the role as the manager or, of the group, and then also getting on and talking during the match, which we have not had in eon. When was the last time like you had like Bobby Heenan or a person like in a Bobby Heenan role during the match come on to the announcing side and sit down and start talking about his guy?
Yeah.
Paulie Dangerous. I mean, what's his name? The manager that does
Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman. Excuse me, I forgot his name. That's it. But where's the good guy equivalent? You need it. They always play it off. You used to have, and there's nothing wrong, what they call the valets. Like a woman would be out there on the side cheering.
That is never coming back.
Yeah, but you don't have to call her a valet. You can call her a manager.
The last closest thing that we had to that was Zelina Vega when Andrade Cien Almas was in WWE, and they turned her into a wrestler. And she's good at what she does. I'll give her that. But what was wrong with keeping her where she was? Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, you don't have to call them valets anymore. You can call them managers. Nothing wrong with the lady manager. I would love to see like somebody like
Miss Elizabeth.
Not in the Miss Elizabeth role, but like the woman, like how she would get involved when it was necessary. You know, something to get the match, you know, a little extra. You know, I don't want to see somebody going in there and then doing, you know, like a tag, you get involved in the actual match. No. I want to see somebody, the typical, like, Bobby Heenan style. Could be a male, could be female, doesn't matter. Go out there, get around the ring, do a little trash talking, get on the mic, trash talk while he's on the mic about his guy in the ring.
Yeah.
You know, we like that. I mean, even back in the day.
We had something like that once with Bobby Lashley when Leo Rush was on his side. Remember that, Pacific?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, you know, hearing about managers, we don't even have a Jimmy Hart who gets on that blowhorn and just starts yelling and screaming.
No, we don't.
About his guy and the fans. You need something like that. I'm not saying you recreate that gimmick. That's Jimmy Hart's gimmick. But you need a manager, whether they're heel or face, to really get the fans invested in whichever wrestler or wrestlers they're representing.
And the only guy that we have like that is Paul Heyman. And Paul Heyman's good at what he does, but we're not going to have Paul Heyman around forever.
No.
I mean, for me, my famous gimmick, and I know it will never come back of all time, the WWE when they had The Godfather.
Yeah, that for sure will never come back in this day and age.
That was so, and you know that was pure Vince McMahon. That was pure Vince McMahon. And he did touch a little bit with, what's that wrestler that he's now on Fox News? He's still wrestling, but not
Tyrus.
Yeah.
Tyrus. I like Tyrus.
He kind of did that in the WWE when he was there. But
Funkasaurus Rex.
I like the original one where he was
where he was Brodus Clay. That's what it was.
And I thought that if they gave that a chance, I liked it, you know. But they kind of like, I guess, they just wanted to get rid of him. And I felt bad because first he was a good wrestler, good entertainer, could talk, and his gimmick was good. Some of these gimmicks that they throw into WWE nowadays, I cringe.
I mean, look at, and here's the thing too. They also quote unquote fix things that really do not need to be fixed. Like, for example, calling Walter Gunther. Keep him as Walter. What's wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with that. And another thing WWE needs to do now that they're under a new era, they need to let stories actually play out instead of starting a story and then ending it that same week.
Well, hold on a second. That's all within the entertainment thing. There is one thing that for sure they need to do before anything else, and that is recognize their wrestlers no longer as contractors, as Vince liked to say them, and make sure they actually have good benefits.
Mm-hmm.
I think wrestling as a whole suffers from even though they don't consider it true sport, but I'm going to consider it a sport. You're still throwing your body around. I think they need agents that can handle their contracts. I'm sorry, they don't seem like they have the ability.
I think Triple H's and Stephanie McMahon, they're gonna listen to people.
Yeah, but here's the thing that I am hesitant. They still were there with Vince McMahon, and they still were doing their input on it, and they still were doing. You couldn't
say no to Vince McMahon though. He was. I was just, you're just glad Triple H got what he could with NXT, but even then, even.
I mean, there was a time when he had to fight with the Shield, and he tried to bring back what was it?
Batista.
Evolution. Yeah, and Batista came back, which I was glad, but he was there for what? Not even a month, and then adios.
Yeah.
He wasn't even there for a month. And
he was treated poorly. Batista.
I understand he was treated poorly and then all with that. But that storyline of them having somebody to fight the Shield, that was awesome. That was awesome. I mean, you can go on YouTube and see when they first come back as Evolution. Nobody thought they were ever coming back, and here they are coming back. And I think you got a period of Batista for 3 weeks and then gone. That's the type of stuff WWE does. I mean, like I said, sometimes they don't have no control. Brock Lesnar comes for a couple weeks or a couple months, bang, gone. So what's all the sense of putting all the hype, pumping all that money for promotions, where somebody's only going to be there for a couple weeks? No, they need to put the money behind people that are in the company and it's going to remain in the company for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Well, it's like during the 2014 Royal Rumble where Batista came back and won the Royal Rumble, and a lot of fans hated that. Because
Daniel Bryan was the guy. He was pretty much the fans' chosen one.
Yeah,
and
he was.
Here's the thing, too. Don't forget also, Batista wasn't the only one that got hated that light. Rey Mysterio did, too.
Yeah.
Because he was the unfortunate one to come out at number 30 when it wasn't Daniel Bryan.
I feel like Vince McMahon was jealous of Daniel Bryan. I don't know.
He does not like small people.
Daniel Bryan was as good as he was the new Steve Austin back then.
Yeah.
And
he was someone that got over with the fans on his own. And Vince didn't like that because he likes to control the minutia of the product. And when something happens against their plans, they like to try and squash it as much as they can, but sometimes they just...
Another example of that is Zack Ryder.
Oh god, what happened with him was tragic.
It's just, I'm just like, I really hope, like, WWE needs to change, and, I feel like if they play their cards right, this could be the long end of AEW's push to be the new wrestling, because I could see Triple H making amends with all those wrestlers.
Right. But at the same time, there's also the possibility that this could fail. And it could end up being more of the same, just a new face in command, but it's more of the same. And if that happens, I believe that that could pretty much be the end of WWE, like forever, because so many people were like, Vince is gone, but his problems are still here. What's the point in watching anymore?
I think if they do an overhaul, which I think they need, first of all, I think too much WWE. I think the SmackDown brand and the Raw brand got to stop. One brand, WWE, one show once a week. I don't care if it's 3 or 4 hours. I don't care. SmackDown, done. They can
Just Raw. Just
they
do
can-
it Raw.
Yeah,
I
and I would,
get-
and here's the thing: get rid of at least half the titles that they have.
Well, most of them are duplicate titles. You only need one world title, one United States title. I can still see keeping the Intercontinental title, and the World Tag Teams, and that's it. But I
Well,
would be...
you mentioned the Intercontinental title, Phil. That needs to be put back into how important that title is.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing for
here's
the
what I would
US.
do: unify. They've already unified the world championships. Keep those unified and just have the champion carry one belt. They've already unified the tag team titles. Have one set of belts for that. Unify the US and Intercontinental titles. I would also have one women's title, and that's it.
Yeah.
See, in the NWA, I know WCW, but I'm going to still call it NWA. NWA, you had your World Heavyweight Champion, you had your United States Champion. And even though the United States Champion, has to defend his title, he's automatically, or was automatically, the number one contender. At least one match in that year, that United States Champion was guaranteed a match for the world title.
That's how Goldberg got his match against Hulk Hogan.
Yep, they should have stuck with that. I'm not a fan of some of these. I don't want the cruiserweight coming back. I don't want a TV title coming back. That's too many titles. But I would like to see one world title, one either like you said United States Continental, call it whatever you want, and the tag teams. That's it. That's it for world title, and that goes for the men and the women.
Yes.
They can keep NXT. I don't
Keep
mind
NXT.
that.
Have one, and for NXT, have the NXT title, the NXT tag titles, and the NXT women's title. I think the North American title and the cruiserweight titles are too much.
Yeah. And I don't want to. I would hate to say this. Having a visitor going over to NXT is fine, but the big crossover like they were doing there between Raw, SmackDown, NXT, that was too much.
You mean around Survivor Series?
Yeah, I don't mind I don't mind the idea.
Survivor Series ever since 2016 has lost all meaning. It's literally become Raw versus SmackDown, and we don't care.
Yeah, they're trying to have I think what their idea with that is having the war, the old war, but it's not WCW. It's them against them, and I hated when wrestling went to two shows during the week, even WCW. It was too much, and I think that's what we're getting now. Too much, and there's not enough of product for that much to justify two shows.
Here's a question I have, and you all can answer it however you want to answer it. Will WWE institute the Forbidden Door?
Allow themselves to work with AEW and New Japan? Well,
Yeah.
had Vince kept around, I would have said absolutely not. But now, literally anything is possible.
I would say no, because that didn't work out too well when it did it with the NWA and WWF.
But you also
That
had to
didn't go
remember
down.
that was still Vince.
Yep.
That
didn't go down well. They tried that for 2 or 3 years. There was one show a year that they would have the big crossover. They would have their little fight. The matches were born because the champion of the NWA didn't want to lose to the champion of the WWF and vice versa. So all the matches tentatively ended into a draw. There was barely anybody a win or a defeat. So it got watered down. Nah.
Well,
I don't.
But here's what I think. AEW has recently done it, where they've worked with New Japan, they've worked with CCW, and they've worked with Impact Wrestling, amongst a few other promotions.
By the way,
and they've
hello,
made it work.
Hello in the chat, Star Wars Theology. What's up, Felix?
So if they do end up using the Forbidden Door and working with AEW can help show them how it's done, and do it in such a way where fans will actually want to see a battle between, Roman Reigns and, let's say, Jon Moxley. Yes, I know Jon Moxley was previously in WWE, but that would also be another interesting storyline. Have Jon Moxley come face to face with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And Jon Moxley could even say to Roman Reigns, "You're the chief now, huh?"
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see about that. Think about it. Jon Moxley is a completely different animal in AEW compared to his persona as Dean Ambrose in WWE.
That is true. And Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns are now both completely different. Although I will
Dean
say
Ambrose
this,
was cool too. Just failed.
they should.
Vince McMahon.
Seth Rollins needs to go back to the way he was in 2018, 2019, because whatever this is that he's doing now has gotten old.
I'm into evil Seth Rollins. That was my favorite.
Which wrestling organization is doing the one where Ric Flair is supposed to come back? They have Tully Blanchard doing part-time wrestling. Which one is that? Is that WCCW or is that Impact?
Tully Blanchard is currently with AEW.
Yeah.
Them people need to stop that. One time coming to the ring, throw a couple punches, help somebody push over, fine. Actually have them doing matches. And I don't want to see Ric Flair, Tully. I don't want to see these old people coming out to wrestle.
That's kind of also the same reason I don't want to see. I think Sting also needs to hang it up too, because Sting, after that last match he had against Seth Rollins, he needs to just stop.
Well, it's like I've said to several people after watching Sting in a match at the Full Gear pay-per-view last year, I was cringing each time he made a move because I was thinking one bad drop and his wrestling career is officially over.
Not to mention possibly his life.
Yep.
But at the same time, who are we to tell him to not do it? Ultimately that's a decision he has to make for himself.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, by the way, hello also to Kara. How you doing tonight?
But there's a lot of wrestlers that are quote unquote one move away. They're already hurt, but one move away from being permanently hurt. What's his name? Edge.
Oh,
He really shouldn't be out. I mean, medically speaking, really. His neck, he's no different than what happened with Paige. She can't do it. She might want to do it. She might think she can do it. But truth be told, he shouldn't be out there. I mean, we already see how simple an accident. Look what happened to what's his name from
Big E.
Big E.
Yeah.
You're just one move away from it.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm like I said, Sting. Yeah, he's getting a little old in the teeth, time to retire. But Edge should never have come back. I know why the WWE wanted him to come back. I know why they wanted to bring Paige back.
Yeah.
But at least she was smart. I hope she realized she can't do that. That's where WWE should have a person like Paige on the announcing team. Some of these announcers they have on there are garbage. We don't have the good announcers like we used to. Paige,
We don't have the Gorilla Monsoon anymore.
We don't even have Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler.
the sad thing is JR is announcing somewhere else.
AEW.
Yep. But I mean, you used to have that. Wrestlers, some of the wrestlers, they had a good voice and good gimmick, able to talk. WWE put them on the damn announcing team. They did that with Billy Graham. They did it with Ventura. They had good careers doing as announcer.
Yeah.
I just think that after 2010, when they got cleared from the wars and everything, WWE had the football, so to speak,
They
fumbled. They fumbled.
That was 2001 that the war ended.
Yes, but I'm saying it carried over. It carried over because when they started. Here's what happened: when Vince McMahon, around that time, started going back to the idea, my wrestlers have to be big and bulky. The Ryback stick, they kept pushing it. They kept pushing it. I don't know what here's this big guy comes into the ring, and his biggest move, he swings his arms up and down.
Yeah.
That is another problem with WWE. You don't know what these wrestlers are about, what their gimmick's all about.
And there have been some cringe-worthy gimmicks that they gave people. I'll never forget Barry Windham, good wrestler and everything. They brought him in. Oh, the Stalker. What in the world was that?
Or Retribution.
Wait. Remember the Uglies or whatever they were?
Oh, the Nasty Boys.
Sometimes and I'm not saying that other wrestling organizations didn't have some cringe-worthy, but Vince McMahon had some very cringe-worthy things. I mean, look, he come out there with Ken Shamrock, right? Ran that course, took the song, gave it to the other guy that had the mask. He's running with it, so they're trying to keep the same idea.
You actually have that in reverse.
Oh, I'm sorry, I do. Then the third try, they give everything to, what's his name, the Olympic wrestler?
Yeah, it was the Patriot that originally had Kurt's theme music as his entrance. And then the Patriot leaves and they bring in Kurt Angle, and Kurt Angle gets that theme music.
And now every time you hear it, it's always, "You suck!
That was
You suck!"
The one thing I used to give WWE credit for, back in the day, they did have some good entrance music.
Yeah, and you have Jim Johnston to thank for that.
Yeah, they had. Mm-hmm. I mean, all the Undertaker's entrance music was awesome. I wasn't much a fan of American Bad Rear, but that was good. I mean, the music was good. Not a big fan of Motorhead. They can play good. Dude can't sing. But
Lemmy?
Lemmy.
How dare you speak of Lemmy?
I will say he cannot sing, and for all that money, he is not Ewan McGregor. He never got.
He can sing. I don't agree with that.
Oh my! If you call that singing.
Hey, I'll
time to play the game.
Listen, I'm going to go on record and say that Lemmy sings better than Ozzy.
I'm never going to talk to you again.
Hate me for it.
You diss on Lemmy.
Lemmy is Robert Plant. He's no.
He doesn't need. Here's the thing, though. For the sound that Motorhead was going for, he doesn't need to be.
I love the sound Motorhead can play. I give it to them every day. But Lemmy singing, oh my god, it's so cringeworthy. Though I do like A Line in the Sand. His voice in Line in the Sand is awesome. That's the only song I say he can really sing.
Then you need to go listen to Ace of Spades.
I heard
Overkill.
Sorry, that is not my thing. Not my thing. Lemmy is not nowhere near. I wouldn't even put him up there as a top 100 singer.
Like I said, for that particular sound, he doesn't need to be.
Well, there's some people that can do speed metal, if you want to call that the genre, that can actually sing and have a voice.
I know.
But I'm not knocking it. If you guys love Lemmy, that's your thing. But he ain't never won an award for a lead singer. Like I said, the idea of a lead singer, they have a voice. And you can pick on Ozzy, but his voice will always be remembered. Always. And he did it longer.
If not his voice, it'll be his biting the head off the bat incident.
Yeah.
That is true.
And I'll be honest, as far as when it comes to Black Sabbath, I love Ozzy. But he is not my favorite singer in Black Sabbath. That will be Ronnie James Dio. Hands down, the best singer of all.
I agree.
That man could sing.
I agree.
But I'll give it to Ozzy. I have to give it to Ozzy because he did it for so long and he's never stopped. There's some singers out there right there today that I used to love, used to have a voice. They don't have a voice no more. And give Ozzy credit. He might not have a voice anymore, but he's not using vocal tracks. Give him the credit.
Yeah.
A lot of these bands today, and some of them I used to love and die for, if I went and paid $200 to go to a live show, and they're using a voice track, I want my money.
Yeah, and now Phil is going to talk about Kiss.
I'll talk about not the only one. I used to like Motley Crue. My man can't even remember the lyrics. He literally sings the song and he throws in words that have nothing to do with the actual lyrics of the song.
And that's what drugs do to you.
I agree. You know. But there's a guy who did a lot of drugs and how he's still alive, Glenn Hughes. But my man still has the same...
You're forgetting Keith Richards.
Keith Richards is a guitar player, not a vocalist, though.
He's thinking about Mick Jagger.
He's thinking of Sid Vicious.
But Keith Richards, you're talking about these guys taking drugs, and Keith Richards
yeah.
is still alive.
He is. He absolutely is. Hold on. No.
Some people, Pacific, they don't want to die. They might do the drugs, but they will themselves to stay alive.
Somehow. Yeah.
We need to test this new drug. Hey, Keith, come over here.
I'm not going to knock it, but I know an area of Philadelphia, and they do a lot of drugs up there. And one of them they do is called fentanyl, and my God, why would you want to do that? It's an animal tranquilizer. You see people that take it, and they're literally half bent over, sometimes doing a kick like you think a horse. I'm like, my God. There's I understand they're hurting. Some people have, pain in the head that they're suffering from trauma. But I don't want to be half bent over and kicking like a horse and not knowing where I'm doing on the street.
Mm.
And here's the thing, wrapping it back around to wrestling too. Drugs was also big in wrestling back in the 80s. I mean, go look at some of those old Hogan, Savage, and especially Ultimate Warrior promos, and tell me they weren't doing blow.
I think you can even throw in a little bit of everybody. Bret Hart was a little bit bigger over there. Again, that was Vince McMahon's idea: bigger, better.
I'm not talking about roids. I'm talking about cocaine.
No, I'm talking. Yeah, that's what I'm talking.
Cocaine doesn't make you bigger.
Yeah, I said.
Not that I'm speaking from experience, Mom and Dad, in case you're watching.
What I'm saying is when you take cocaine and you take drugs, you tend to take other drugs.
Right. And,
to get,
and oftentimes they don't mix very well.
No. I know I shouldn't say this, but I speculate, this is just me, Bill McCracken speculating, Brian Pillman, Mr. Perfect. I think that
it was drugs. It was drugs. They had said when they passed away that when the autopsy was performed, it was drugs. They were loaded with drugs in their systems. And it's unfortunate that they got so addicted to those drugs that it cost them their lives.
Yeah. And this one's probably the most touchy subject we could hit on. You could possibly say the same for Benoit.
I think so. I think he was not just taking the roids, but I think he was taking something else. Also, I'm not putting him down. He was dealing with, he was really tight with, what's his name? Guerrero.
Eddie Guerrero, yeah.
And he never really didn't take the time to sometimes, even if it ain't family, you do have to take a step back. And I think he probably should have took a step back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should have stepped away for a period of time and then come back when his head was clear. Because you're right, Phil, it doesn't have to be a blood relative to put you in that spot.
Yep. I mean, think about it, even though they're not talking right now. Arn Anderson dies, just happens to pass away tomorrow. You think Ric Flair is going to be able to handle it?
Ric Flair's going to be busted up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But some of these wrestlers, you know,
I can only imagine, like when you're out there traveling from show to show, you're traveling with these other wrestlers. I'm sure they become family to you.
I remember hearing the story about Benoit when they had the announcement on WWE about it. It was the wrestlers. I saw the guy talking, Eddie Guerrero's brother, and he said he got the news. He didn't wait to get the news. He went to Ric Flair because Ric Flair was tight with Chris Benoit, and Ric Flair could barely even talk. That's how emotional he was. You got to remember, he knew Benoit since 1991.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, a lot of people think outside the industry, you know, forget the storyline about fighting and this and that. He still was close to Lex Luger. Like, I mean, look at Lex Luger today. I think a lot of that, even though it was injury, had a lot to do, again, a little bit of the steroids. I'm going to expect, I will put that out there. But a lot of these people develop friendships because they're on the road more than they're with their families.
Yeah.
And back in the day, they had to ride together.
Yeah.
Sometimes in cars. But, like I said, I think WWE needed a cleanup right after the wars. And when I mean cleanup, you know, get away from bigger is better, you know.
Well, here's the thing. During the Attitude Era, they kind of did, because Stone Cold Steve Austin, you know, he's a big guy, but he's not as big as, say, Hulk Hogan.
No. But that was one of the reasons I used to like NWA wrestling, because you didn't always have these big, bulky guys, you know? You didn't need to.
Yeah.
WWE just had this thing. I mean, they were, some of them people were bodybuilders, you know? Some of them people in Bobby Heenan that he was managing, they were bodybuilders, not wrestlers, you know?
Well, anyways, y'all know what time it is?
Skyrim.
Vader time.
No, it's 7:54. But no, we are gonna switch to Skyrim now.
Let's watch Trek.
We already did for this week, though.
Let's watch some more.
All right, so let's get Skyrim pulled up.
Speaking of Trek, you know, sad news finding out that David Warner passed away due to cancer.
Yeah. Gorkon.
Yeah. Remind me, he was one of the big guys as far as playing Star Trek Aliens. Wasn't he the one that became famous for the Cardassians?
Yeah, we haven't got
Yes,
to that.
yes. When we get to the episode Chain of Command, I think you're gonna really enjoy that, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the one where Picard is captured and he has to say that there's 5 lights when there's really 4?
Yes.
I've seen all the memes about that. I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. I also know that there is a captain in there that people really don't like named Captain Jellicoe.
Yes.
Phil, what's your take on him? Since you're such anti-Picard.
Let's watch
I
Unification.
didn't like Bellico. I didn't like him. Don't like the character. actor, great. Character, I hated him.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Dick Jones. I work for Dick Jones. Let's watch you.
Yeah, isn't the actor's name Ronnie Cox, or am I thinking of someone else?
Oh yeah, we have another drug episode coming up. The game.
It's time to play the game.
They don't have enough TNG drug episodes.
Hey, at least it won't be
I
as
have my thoughts on the game, but I'll wait till we get there.
At least it won't be as on the nose as Felicium.
Felicium.
Where
Are you sure? Are you sure about that?
Where freaking Tasha Yar is talking to Wesley, but she's really talking to the camera saying, drugs are bad, kids. Don't do drugs.
Felicium. And then you got the guy from the Wrath of Khan like, I need it.
Yeah. Wasn't that also Tasha Yar's last aired episode?
Yeah, I think we watched the part where she waves when they walk out of the cargo bay, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But her last that was her last filmed episode, but her last aired episode, of course, was Skin of Evil. Also, I have a confession to make, Phil. In fixing those mods, I did have to start a new character, so...
Again?
Hey, in order for these mods to work, sometimes I have to do that, okay?
Sometimes sacrifices must be made.
Exactly.
Don't worry, she's still a redhead.
Yeah, but
Yes,
her booty Maximus is slightly smaller, but he compensated by increasing the frontal muscleage.
No, I really didn't. Everything got shrunk.
You might hate this, but of the reveals Marvel did, I gotta admit, Black Panther does look good.
I'm gonna say the same thing I always do. I don't care about Marvel anymore.
If Black Panther is the movie that get me back into Marvel, it might be.
I hope for your sake it is.
Mhm.
But I'm done because, as I always say, Endgame to me is the end. Anything else is unnecessary. I only made an exception for Spider-Man No Way Home, and I'm good on that. Although I heard a rumor that apparently Toby, Andrew, and Patrick Stewart will appear in Avengers Secret Wars at some point.
I don't think Secret Wars, but this saga is the multiverse saga. I just feel like these films that they've been doing, these last few films, they're just filler.
Yeah, like, who's the big bad of Phase 4, and now they're already announcing Phase 5?
For me, Phase 5 is the true next phase. This is just setting up new characters, but it's just not working. It's just more setting up television. So it's kind of like a filler. The villain of this whole saga is Kang the Conqueror, who is kind of like this multiversal god who basically Secret Wars, Paul, it's a cool story where he takes the heroes from different universes and puts them in a gladiator match. Basically, so all these characters from all these universes team up. It isn't just the Avengers. It's kind of like a multiversal Avengers. They team up to take down this tyrant. So basically, you could say like it's Tobey Maguire that's working with Paul Rudd's Ant-Man. They're also being supported by Wesley Snipes' Blade, something like that.
But as I said before, why? Why couldn't they have just ended it at Endgame? Wait, never mind, I forgot. They want to make money.
They could take a break, and they need to take a break.
Yes,
We need-
they do.
I think they could. This Phase 4 didn't need to happen, and then they could have done the multiverse stuff.
And I'm not just saying for Marvel. We're getting too much superhero movies in a short period of time. We had Batman. Look at this year. But forget counting Marvel. There's a Batman movie we just had. Not saying it was bad. It was good.
It was all right.
But if you count
Catwoman aside,
yeah. But and now there's Sylvester Stallone's doing a superhero movie, and there's
he already has superhero movies. Those are called Rambo.
I know, but like I said, remember what I told you? My fear for Top Gun. I hope it stops there. They don't do anything anymore. Leave it alone. But you know Hollywood. They're going to do a third. If they do a third one, it's going to ruin everything. It's going to ruin it. So we're getting every 3 months. We're practically getting a Marvel movie,
which may have worked before, but that model's just not sustainable.
And Kira's right. The MCU was born and died with Iron Man.
Yeah.
If it gets bad, and this so-called 5 and 6 phase and all this other thing, believe me, Disney is going to try to do something.
You think that's bad? Do you know the next Avengers films is a 2-parter?
Well,
oh, come on! I thought I fixed this bug.
But it's not just a 2-parter, but the 2 Avengers movies, are coming out 6 months apart.
I know. I saw that, and yeah, okay, good for you. I won't be there to see him.
The sad thing for me is they might be even good. I'm burned out. I don't want to see Batman. Even if Christian Bale came back and said we're doing the trilogy, too soon. Too soon with all this superhero stuff getting played out. I want something different.
For me, you can just see No Way Home. You don't have to watch these new Marvel stuff. I think this whole phase is just filler. Because the stuff involving Kane in the multiverse has only been in a couple movies, which is Doctor Strange, Loki, the TV show, and
that's another whole issue entirely. The fact that these movies are so heavily reliant on these shows. Why not do what they were doing before with, say, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where the shows weren't required watching for the movies? It was just an extra thing that if you felt like you wanted to watch it, it's there, but it's not required.
Kang is introduced in Loki, but it's not the Kang. It's a different time. See, the thing is with Kang, he has there's different universes, so there's different Kangs, and this is just, it's not the Kang. It's not the Kang. It's like not the Thanos. It's a different person. But it's kind of like a foreshadow of Kang. I don't know.
There's also another villain that people were speculating about, and we never saw this villain in WandaVision, and it was Mephisto.
Hold on. You guys didn't let me finish.
Sorry.
So you jumped the gun on the thing is, I said that there isn't really much you need to watch in this Phase 4, which is there. Now, granted, I liked Shang-Chi. People complained about it. For some reason, me and Cash agree it was not a failure. I think that's people just trying to say Marvel's dying. I will say Marvel, Doctor Strange 2 was not bad, not good either. I would say the only Marvel stuff that impacted me was... Oh, that's hard. You know what?
No Way Home?
Yeah, No Way Home. And you could argue that No Way Home affected the whole multiverse thing, but so really you can only need to watch No Way Home, and if you wanted to learn more about Kang, you could just watch the Loki, but you don't really need to watch these movies because they're filler.
They need to be made. there's too many movies of Marvel being made in a one calendar year. And it is a simple fact, burnout is going to happen. And if you're going, I don't care how great the movies are going to be. If you're making 5 Marvel movies in 1 year, you're going to burn people out.
Mm-hmm. And we're already starting to see the signs of it. I mean, Thor: Love and Thunder is, at least according to what Valiant Renegade is saying, doing absolutely piss poor right now.
From what my friend Average said, the problem with Thor: Love and Thunder is I liked Ragnarok, but he says that for all the movies, Marvel has the comedy, right? The comedy aspect where they make jokes every now and then.
Yeah.
This movie was just jokes. They even joked about cancer in the movie, which is like okay.
That's not something you joke
this
about.
Is the guy,
No, it's
yeah,
not.
and this is the same guy that's going to direct the next Star Wars movie. Just so you know.
I know.
Here's the thing:
We talked about that on Doomcock's stream.
You have Thor: Love and Thunder, and the idea of his girlfriend Natalie Portman's character. Now she's a superhero. Okay, how that happens and why I don't care.
Well, they got Christian Bale to play a villain, and I've heard he's really good in it. But he's only in the movie for 8 minutes. 8 minutes.
But they tried to upgrade. They tried to upgrade Natalie Portman's character to a main story character. Same thing with Valkyrie. And I'm sorry, that's too much there. Should have been figured on Thor. If it's a Thor movie, should be about Thor.
It kind of angers me because the storyline they're adapting is actually good from the comics. It's kind of it's the God Killer. He wants revenge on the gods because in the God Killer. But the thing is, they destroy the story by having all these dumb butt jokes, and I stopped myself, Paul. These dumb butt jokes, and and then you get an actor like Christian Bale, who is like the GOAT actor to go to.
Yeah.
And you give him only like 8 to 10 minutes in the movie. My friend was like so upset because he's the best part of the movie and he's barely in it.
Russell Crowe. What is that, cameo appearance?
Yeah, it's kind of a cameo. He plays Zeus.
And here's the thing. This is where I kind of lose it. Thor's supposed to be a god. All the Norse gods are supposed to be gods, right? So gods die and go to a god's heaven. So now, instead of a Valhalla type deal where they originally were, Valhalla is now the place where, wait for it, not where Thor is at, but where his ex-girlfriend is at. She's in Valhalla.
Well, she was worthy. I would argue again. Okay, you can make a case for that because she was worthy and she was involved with Thor.
No, but the whole thing is, when he's in Asgard, that's supposed to be technically Valhalla. That's where the gods are supposed to be at, the Norse gods. Okay. Now they die, and now they go to a god's reign of Valhalla. So now where they were, where Odin was the king and where he's supposed to be in the Norse pantheon, now they have to go to an upgraded place. Why?
I don't know.
So that's what makes me fearful of the Black Panther 2 does not look like your typical superhero. It's not even a superhero movie. It's like this cult. It's like this. It felt like a tribute to Chadwick Boseman. The trailer itself. I don't want and I know you guys don't want to see Black Panther 2, but this I have to say it does look good. If it's a bait and switch and it's like the previous 2 Marvel movies, then nothing's changed. But if it adds, I don't know. You can never trust these. You can never trust this company anymore.
Here's
my
thing,
thing,
guys.
It can be great, but the thing is,
Phil, respectfully, I was trying to speak first.
Oh, sorry.
Here's my thing regarding Black Panther. I saw Black Panther 1. It was okay. Not my favorite of the MCU movies, but certainly not bad either. But let's just be perfectly honest. Black Panther was made for a certain group of people, and no one here in this voice chat is part of that group.
I agree.
And that's about as delicately as I could put that.
Well, you could argue that, but even then, Black Panther he's still a cool character.
He is.
Just like Mace Windu. Just because you could argue, yeah, it's basically highlight Africa because Africa's and stuff like that. But the way they did it in the movie was fine. It kind of, you understood, okay, well, this is how impactful Stanley made Black Panther, this Wakanda. And Ryan Coogler, he took it a step further. The thing is, this new movie, I'm sad to say it, but it actually does not feel like a typical superhero movie. The trailer I saw, it feels like, I don't know, it feels different.
Well,
but I understand Black Panther, but
Black Panther can be a 5-star movie, but if it's coming out this fall, I'm sorry, people are already played out. And that's going to affect it.
And let's be honest, too. A movie like Black Panther 2, the setup is too good for them to insert whatever woke politics that they want to. Now, if they end up not... In fact, I'll put it this way. I would be more surprised if they didn't wokeify this movie than if they did. And I'm not just saying that because it's Black Panther. I'm pretty much saying that now for all of Disney. I'm more surprised when it's not woke.
Where do you want to go?
I just think Disney, when it comes to Marvel, that movie.
I am tired of this woke nonsense. Like Doctor Strange 2. I will say about Doctor Strange 2, even though I found it one note, there wasn't a lot of cringe humor in it. It was actually serious compared to the other Marvel movies I watched. But I will say, it made no sense why America Chavez, she came from another universe, and she's like, I'm my mom's. And I'm like, well, are you going to explain? You have moms in the future? Explain. Who's your father?
Real quick, though, guys, I do have to interrupt this with some sad news. I just found out that Goodfellas actor Paul Sorvino unfortunately passed away today.
Yeah, two good actors, David Warner and Paul Sorvino. Paul Sorvino plays Worf's. Oh, I shouldn't say that.
I was just gonna say we do see him in a future episode of.
Yeah, we do see a Worf episode. We'll just say and he's also in the comic book series. If you guys like to read the TNG comics, I'm gonna do this though. When we finish TNG and maybe DS9 and the TNG films, I'm gonna try to see if we want to do.
Voyager. Sorry, Crit.
Whatever.
Voyager.
You know how Crit feels about Voyager, and that's fine.
I forget it exists sometimes. It's so forgettable. So I'm sorry, Phil.
It's okay. We all agree to disagree.
Well, it was like some little blip. Well, you made me forget what I was gonna say. So you interrupted me with Voyager.
You were saying after TNG, after Deep Space Nine, possibly the movies.
Yeah. Oh.
You also didn't mention DS9.
I did mention this.
He did.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
I consider DS9. DS9's my favorite Star Trek show. I would have said TNG, but I rewatched it these last few weeks, DS9, and I'm still sticking to my guns on DS9. So
Understandable.
nothing changed. Well, Phil, he got exiled. I was thinking punishment for Phil would be to watch the whole season 1 of Strange New Worlds.
Only if you watch
Oh,
every
no.
episode with just of Star Trek Warriors.
What do you mean? Crit's already going to be watching Star Trek 4.
Well, he said no. He never committed. He never committed.
Hey, he is part of Tuesday Night Trek. He's committed by default.
You hear this, Crit?
You hear this, Crit? You've been drafted.
I've been drafted. I don't even remember any of Voyager. It's so forgettable. I probably won't remember when we rewatch it. The only episode I remember was everything with the Doctor, because the Doctor was the only memorable character in that show.
So, Crit, I got a question for you, brother.
Yeah.
You have Paramount Plus, right?
Yeah.
Have you watched Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe?
I haven't got to that. I wasn't. I like Nick Judge. Not Nick Judge.
Hello, by the way, to Mr. Frosty. And apparently he's suggesting make him watch My Little Pony. Make Phil watch My Little Pony? Is that what you're saying?
My
Little
Pony.
I think Phil would never return from that.
Yeah, Mr. Frosty, is your name Cash Money? Now.
That could be Catch's alternate name.
Either Mr. Frosty is Cash Money or that's Matt Risman.
No, he would recommend we watch the He-Man, Kevin Smith's He-Man, now with William Shatner for some reason.
No.
Mr. Frosty, I'll watch My Little Pony if you come along and watch Fern Gully, all the episodes.
We also
Fern Gully. There was never a TV show. There's a movie.
There's a TV show.
Also something about Snake
Make it
Eyes.
on TV. There is a TV show that was made.
Right, Crit. Something about Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes. I don't know. That joke's old. Snake Eyes. Its time has passed, but well, I mean, the He-Man Kevin Smith is an embarrassment to the animation industry. I just laugh when people say they love it, as if they think they're fans of the actual He-Man show. I mean, I would be called out for this. I know a certain someone would be mad if he heard me talking about.
I'm sorry, but as someone who grew up with the original He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, Mark Hamill is not Skeletor.
He's a good substitute.
He's not Skeletor, you fool!
No,
Nice Harvey voice, by the way.
I liked.
Well, that's the best I can do for Skeletor.
I wasn't big on He-Man, but I did like She-Ra growing up. She-Ra was awesome.
I can think of two big reasons why you liked She-Ra.
I thought you said She-Hulk for a moment.
You'll never hear the word She-Hulk from now.
Okay. And let's talk about that too, because I did see the latest trailer.
Oh no, please not. Let's forget about it. Please, no.
Okay,
Don't
hold on. Let me say my piece, Phil.
Let him finish. Let him say his piece.
I'll give him this, that it looks like the CGI is marginally better, but it's still just too much uncanny valley with all that. Like, what's going on with Marvel's special effects department? Are they...
Well, they're swamped in work. I won't dog on them, but Marvel has them doing all this stuff, and then all these studios want them to do their stuff. I won't get on them on it. But then people won't. They just want Disney wants to churn out all this stuff. I mean, Kenobi could have looked much better had they been given the time to do the visual effects and maybe not have Deborah Chow.
And down the shaky cam.
and maybe not have Deborah Chow direct the series, and actually have Star Wars music in it, and have Reva die in episode 5.
It's
Sorry, I'm back in a Kenobi rant.
I know. Just when you think you're out, they pull you right back in.
And no, Kira, Phil's not referring to the Netflix debacle that was laughingly called She-Ra. He's talking about the original Filmation cartoon that took over from He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Where I come from, here,
The original
right
She-Ra.
all the way to the south.
She-Ra.
I see. Do you know Skyrim?
Uh,
I see. I don't. I'm a very good archer too.
Yeah, I don't recognize anything being remade by anything anymore. I'm done with remakes, rehashes, reboots.
No, you're not.
Reimagine.
No, you're not. They're
Yeah.
because I just heard a rumor that they're going to remake Rhinestone. Except this time, replace Dolly Parton with Miley Cyrus, and replace
Really? Oh, God,
replace
no.
Sylvester Stallone with Sylvester Stallone that's older.
You know, you're getting
Oh,
me so
God,
angry
no.
right now that I might go outside and kick a
Also,
dog.
by the way, I'm kidding. That's not happening.
Well, you want a real horror? Disney is supposedly thinking about doing John Carter 2. Like, John Carter 1 wasn't bad enough and lost a
I
lot.
like John Carter.
I
Never,
do.
never seen it.
John Carter was good. I think it was just released at a bad time.
If it got a sequel, I would be thankful. I would.
The original
I've never
film
seen
was-
the first one, so I can't really speak to whether it's good or bad.
You should watch it. I will tell you, it's not a bad movie. The reason it didn't make money, and it happens to a lot of movies, it was sandwiched in there between a lot of blockbusters at one time. Like
It wasn't marketed good.
No.
Well, the same
movie was
thing
actually
happened
good.
with Alita Battle Angel. A very good film, and it wasn't marketed good, and no one saw it.
I like Battle Angel. I did like that.
Battle Angel
Yeah,
should have got a
that's
sequel.
good.
Would have rather had a sequel than Robert Rodriguez direct at least a Book of Boba Fett. Better yet, don't have Jon Favreau write the Book of Boba Fett. Get someone that knows Boba Fett to write Boba Fett.
Well, how much you're willing to put stock into this? Doomcock did recently release a video saying that Jon Favreau was actually busy with Ahsoka with Dave Filoni, while Rodriguez was doing Book of Boba.
I don't
No.
believe
Take
that. No.
that for what you will. Take it for what
No,
you will.
Jon Favreau admitted to doing. I thought the gang, the biker gang, was Rodriguez. It wasn't. It was Jon Favreau took the blame for that, and I believe him.
I'm with Kurt on that.
I don't know. It's just I don't like. I'm kind of hesitant to believe Doomcock most of the time. Although I would enjoy talking with him. Again, like the rumor mill, it can only go so deep. I think Jon Favreau was fully involved with Book of Boba Fett. Because if another person was writing, why did
I know. Look,
I can't think about it no more. Just move on.
I know. I'm right there with you, man.
I'll be right back, guys.
See ya.
Did my dad wake up?
Just entertainment in general is just in a very sad shape right now as far as the big established names.
Well, like I said, Marvel, wouldn't mind Marvel movie if they did 2 a year. I can get away with 2 a year TV show. You wouldn't be overwhelmed as much. But even financial, how much money do they think people in 2022 have enough to go see 5 or 6 movies?
Yeah, especially with how everything has gone up in price.
I mean, in this day and world, you might be today.
Just get an A-list. Just pay $20 for A-list. That saves you money.
Yeah.
You
But,
get $3 a week. Free movies at the cinema. I would do that.
Is that any theater?
Yeah, if you have an AMC. Well, no, it's just AMC. Or
Oh, yeah,
Regal.
okay,
Regal
I'm
has
out.
the same. Regal has the same. Uh, Regal has the same thing. Although I don't hate like Regal. For one, Regal doesn't give you refills on your icy, which is annoying.
That is a crime.
It's a crime.
But I'll be honest, the most I go to movies is maybe 2 a year. 2 a year.
Yeah, I'm lucky if I go. I wouldn't necessarily say lucky, but it's important if I go to the movies more than once a year. And that's just because there's really nothing playing in the movies that interests me enough to go see it. The one for this year was Top Gun Maverick.
This week I'm seeing. Well, you saw Sonic 2.
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot about that.
I'm seeing. So this week I am seeing Elvis, and hopefully Austin Butler gives the king his
If
justice.
you watch real careful at the end credit, you'll see a picture of Elvis. He's still alive. The king never died.
Well, we'll see. And then
Phil McCracken, you are a conspiracy theorist.
Hold up. Mr. Incredible Hulk himself. He was his best friend, the actor, Bigsby, whatever his name was.
Elvis is dead.
He did a show that
If he's
was
not dead,
about.
he's
Wait a
dead.
minute. He did a show on Elvis, and then he made at the end of the show. He said, "All this evidence, and I'm Elvis's best friend. Elvis Presley is dead." 2 weeks later, the Incredible Hulk dies. Elvis had him taken out because the king is never
That
dead.
is coincidence.
I'm going with it.
Phil,
How much more coincidence you need?
Phil, you're a conspiracy theorist.
Hold up. I want you, after the show, when you get a chance, there's a guy, forget his name, but look up Preacher in Memphis.
You already told me that was disproven.
No. Watch it, because he's at Graceland when the family's in Graceland. Why would he be there if he wasn't Elvis himself?
That's been disproven already.
Elvis is not alive. He is dead.
Yes.
Nope.
Okay. I will be going back to the cinema next week or the week after I do this government counseling thing. I will be seeing E.T. is coming back to the cinema in IMAX. I will be going to see that. And then Jaws is also coming back to the cinema in September. So in 3D, which is weird, but all right. Well,
One more thing, Paul. Elvis's gravestone, his middle name is misspelled. 2 A's instead of 1 on there.
Okay. That
The
means
king is not dead.
that means
Long live the
that
king.
Phil, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. I don't care if this song is copyrighted. I'm gonna keep saying let it go.
How come nobody ever tried to sneak over the fence and dig up Elvis?
Besides, Phil, Michael Jackson is the king.
No.
Yes.
Elvis
King of Pop.
There can only
There could be two kings. There
No,
can
there
be
can't.
two kings.
No, there can't.
no.
It's Elvis. I'm sorry.
Elvis is the king of rock, and Michael Jackson is the king of pop. There's two kings in this world.
There's only one king, and he's in Memphis, and he's still alive, and he
is not still alive, Phil.
Phil.
Phil, he is not still alive.
Yeah.
There is still about 2 million old ladies out there that still love Elvis. They're going to fight with me, and you're not going to want to fight them. They're on my side.
Hey, I'm pretty sure I already settled that when we watched Rhinestone.
Grindstone.
You have to admit that's a classic.
Y'all still owe me a Godzilla movie and a half. So.
Just as long as you hold up.
I already told you.
I've
I've already seen a Godzilla movie.
Oh. You mean the monster that gets killed by Godzilla and gets thrown into the Sydney Opera House?
Yes.
That's not a Godzilla movie.
It has
It
the
is-
Godzilla name on it.
No, and Godzilla kills it, so it's not. It's a it. It's not a Godzilla. Nope.
If Godzilla ain't in Japan, it ain't a Godzilla movie.
I know, I'm just trolling with you guys.
So you just wait till Crit finds out they're going to do a Godzuki TV show.
A what?
Godzuki.
Godzuki.
What is that?
You don't know what Godzuki is?
Do I want to know what Godzuki is?
There was a cartoon in the 70s of Godzilla, and Godzilla had, a child, Godzuki, a mini Godzilla. And he would fly around, he had wings. Apparently Godzilla...
You mean Godzilla Jr., which is not Godzuki.
It's Godzuki. Don't you be blasphemous
It's
and
not
say...
Godzuki. It's
Godzuki.
Godzilla Jr. It's
Godzuki.
Godzilla Jr.
And everybody cheers for Godzuki.
Godzilla Jr. is the one that takes Godzilla's. No, it's Godzilla Jr. That's his son.
Godzuki is going to be a TV show. They're going to make a TV show based on, again, on the cartoon character Godzuki. You have to see the original cartoon. It was hilarious.
Alright, let me ask you this then. If Elvis was the king of rock, Michael Jackson was the king of pop, who would y'all say is the king of blues?
Of what?
Of blues. To me,
Cash Money, because he's always blue.
To me, it's B.B. King, easily.
Chuck Berry.
I would go with Chuck Berry.
Okay.
I don't want to count Chuck Berry as / rock and roll, but yeah, Chuck Berry.
I could maybe see a case for that. Alright, who do y'all think is the king of metal?
Occasionally it can be amusing to turn it back around on that.
That's hard because you have
Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, metal.
Led Zeppelin's not metal. They're classic rock.
see, that's
Borderline
something.
hard rock.
Sometimes I like to
If you have to say official metal, all right. If you don't want to count Led Zeppelin as metal, it's, I would say, tie Deep Purple and Black Sabbath.
I disagree. They're good, but I think it's Metallica.
No,
Dio.
Dio.
Dio is
Well, I would put them up there, but I wouldn't put them at all-time best. But you said band, so
Yeah.
and I still
Judas
my-
Priest, Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, Slayer.
I can make an argument for Judas Priest. I could even say Kiss, Aerosmith. But if you can also
I
say
don't think Aerosmith is metal.
No, they're more rock.
Yeah.
Same with Kiss.
It's Ronnie James Dio. He's the king of metal.
singer-wise, yes, I agree. King.
Guitarist wise, James Hetfield is the king of metal.
He is only he's a rhythm guitarist.
Is.
And he's not the best rhythm guitarist.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Can you say that for a fact?
I can say that for a fact.
Okay, did he ever do a solo album outside Metallica?
Does he need to?
Okay, I can name someone that did more than him as a rhythm guitarist and did a solo album, 2 solo albums, and better.
Who?
Paul Stanley, Kiss.
He's
a
not
rhythm
metal.
guitarist. He's metal.
He is not
They're
metal.
rock and roll, dude. They're rock and roll.
Nah, he's
Yeah,
metal.
they sing about it. I wanna rock and roll all night
Get
and
outta
party
here.
every day. Oh, sorry, they don't sing about it
For that,
anymore.
I'm
They
gonna-
they
for
lip
that-
sync.
For that, I'm going to have to do this. I didn't really want to, but I have to do this.
Is that the
I think
cashier?
I think
Is that the cashier?
I think Phil just left.
Oh, I didn't.
James
I just
Hetfield is
sent
metal
you
guitarist.
I just sent you 2 videos and one of them, this if I was going to send one to Crit, but it'll make him have a heart attack, and I don't want to hurt Crit. But yeah, you get the cartoon version of Godzilla, and you get the nice little. Even though they're not using the name, but you get the animation one, little baby Godzuki calling his daddy.
That is not the real.
You will never
That
change
is
that.
not.
Okay,
no.
Phil, in what way does this affect me?
That is not Godzilla's son. It is Godzilla's Jr. is his son.
It's Godzuki.
Godzilla Jr.
Look at Godzuki flying in the air.
Godzilla Jr.
Look at it, Paul. He's flying in the air.
I'm playing the game right now. Do you want me to play Skyrim, or do you want me to look at this? I can't
You
do
can
both.
Have him watch Godzilla. Have him drop Skyrim just to watch a Godzilla movie. Godzuki. It's Godzilla Jr. It's not
Phil.
Godzuki.
Hey, Phil. Phil.
You're gonna have to do a
Oh,
YouTube
Ian,
poll.
what's up, man?
What's up?
Gotta
By
do
the
a
way-
YouTube poll.
By the way, James Hetfield is a metal guitarist. I don't care what you think.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you for coming to my
Oh,
defense.
And
I
he's
couldn't
pretty.
hear him. He was a little bit low.
I said James Hetfield is by far one of the best rhythm metal guitarists ever to walk the face of the earth.
He's good. I will put him in the top 5, but you're not telling me he's better than Paul Stanley in rhythm guitar. I'm
Oh
sorry.
my gosh,
No.
dude!
No.
Everybody in the world's better than Paul Stanley. He's garbage.
Kick this man off the channel.
He is
Nope,
complete
nope.
garbage.
I am not going to kick my best friend off
Okay.
here.
You're going
Paul
to put down,
Stanley
you're gonna
cannot
put
play
down
it,
a band, person, a lead singer that we've seen for
Dude,
Godzuki can play guitar. Godzilla
Dude.
Jr.
I'll be right back again. I'm gonna go get some popcorn. This is enjoyable.
Ian, Ian,
Phil,
more
I am a better
classic-
guitarist than
Real-
Paul Stanley.
real quick, Ian.
Kick him off the channel now.
Better yet, instead, Ian, let's play some
What?
Let's play some Battlefront 2.
No.
Okay. Go.
I'm
You're
booting it
supposed
up
to
now.
watch.
And
We've
hey,
done
Crit, you can join us too if you want.
You're supposed to. You're supposed to watch.
Fine, I'm
God-
doing something right now.
You're supposed to watch Godzilla.
But Ian showed up, and we gotta play some Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
Have
So
you not?
you lost your Skyrim privileges.
God's. He's gonna lose.
It's okay. The good thing about Skyrim, there's always someone streaming about Skyrim.
Oh, so
Every
you're gonna
day.
leave because you're scared of me in a metal debate. I gotcha. Perfectly.
What was
understand.
that?
I said you're gonna leave because you're scared of debating
Oh
me
boy.
Debating you how?
Oh boy.
over a metal guitar. Paul
Okay,
Stanley's
let's
garbage.
see this.
Prove
Let's
me
see
wrong.
this. James Hetfield has how many gold albums? I know
It doesn't
you're
matter.
with platinum.
It doesn't
How
matter
many
if you
gold
put
albums
if you
does
put
he has?
if you put
Okay.
Paul Stanley and
He
James
has-
Hetfield on
they
the
have
exact
the
same
big-
stage and you
Kiss
put
is the
them live,
biggest seller of gold record album of any band in the United States, and that's a fact.
no, U2
Yes.
is. U2 is worth 900 million. They're way more than Kiss, or you could, in fact, you could put Kiss and Eminem and Taylor Swift together, and you would still not be.
You know
worth
what? Here's how to settle this
U2's
argument.
worth.
Metallica as a band put 4 solo albums out. Can they all go platinum? No.
Look,
Just
look,
did it, and they
I
did
am
it.
not. I am, repeat, not a Metallica fan at all.
Okay. I'm not a Metallica. I like Metallica. I'm not a
Okay,
Metallica
so
fan.
I'm just
a
saying
Megadeth fan.
that, just to be clear, I am not a Metallica fan at in the least, like at all. I
And I
play
think-
2 riffs of theirs as practice whenever I pick up guitar. Now, having said
can
that,
confirm,
I
by the way,
think
I've been to his house.
having said that, I think James Hetfield is by far one of the greatest metal rhythm guitarists of all time. Singer, no, I dislike his singing voice, but to sing and play what he does is absolutely ridiculous, and he is a ridiculous player. He is way better than Paul Stanley. If you put the two of them next together on stage, dude, James Hetfield would out-riff Paul Stanley
I would
around the
put
world in
Black
back
and Roll
15.
when he plays rhythm guitar instead of bass. When he plays rhythm guitar and Wasp, it's better and can sing better than James Hetfield.
That's debatable. Kiss was never good at anything they did.
There
were just- they were
is
just
a show band.
there's one guitarist I would say could rival James Hetfield as a rhythm guitarist.
I don't.
Or as a
Have you been
guitarist,
to-
period. And that's Dave Mustaine. Only because he
Okay.
can solo too.
I
Have you
think Dave
been
Mustaine
to-
might be better, but I'm not positive.
Have you been to a Kiss concert?
No, but I've seen it all on YouTube, and it's
there you
pretty,
go.
it's pretty
There
bad.
you go. There you go.
I will
I
tell you
have
this.
seen
There
Kiss
you go.
numerous times.
I've seen videos. I've not been to it yet.
No, my dad has. My dad has, and he used to be in a band. Believe it or not, my dad.
Your dad's not. Your dad's not you though. You've not been.
No, but
Can I just remind everyone for a second? Can I just remind everyone, we're all friends here. These arguments mean nothing.
I've seen Kiss a couple times.
I've seen Kiss in all their alterations.
yeah, they're not very good at all. They're all show live. Like, it takes more to impress me than it does my dad. Put it that way.
Can confirm, by the way.
And my dad is impressed by far more than I am, and he said Kiss was garbage. And from what I've seen on YouTube, he's absolutely correct. They have nothing. They're just.
They just happen to have more gold records than any band in the United States.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry.
That's the same reason Tom Petty.
They put 4 solo albums, and all 4 solo albums went platinum. Can Metallica say that?
Like I said, I'm not a Metallica fan. I'm just saying James Hetfield as a guitarist is far better than 95%
in your
of the
opinion. But here, we can settle this, Paul. Put a YouTube vote on who's a better rhythm guitarist, Paul Stanley or James Hetfield.
That depends.
Who wins?
That depends on the market that you would be putting
It's just an average YouTube poll.
Just average?
Yeah, just a question. Just say, who's a
Okay.
better rhythm guitarist, Paul Stanley or James Hetfield? And I bet you, hands down, 2-1, they're going to say Paul Stanley.
No.
I guarantee
bet
you.
No,
I guarantee
it's
you.
the other way. It's the other way.
See, I can understand your personal opinion. I have a lot of friends don't like Kiss. But when you're talking about who's been doing it for 50 more years, has more hit songs, has more been doing it more live shows.
Has more hit songs, dude, has nothing to do with it, because I'm a musician. I look at the skill of the musician. And in today's world, unfortunately, skill does not matter. You can be a platinum artist and you can be absolute garbage. Like
I am right now.
Who's a platinum artist in today's world?
Hey, Ian.
Tom Petty.
Ian, switch to Anakin so I can be Luke.
Okay. When I die, I'll switch to Anakin.
But in today's world, if you sell 200,000 copies of a record, it might not go gold.
You either know somebody who knows a record company, or you have. Yeah, you basically, that's the only way you succeed nowadays. You either look exceptionally attractive, or you know somebody who owns a record company that's, ridiculously huge and has tons of promotion leverage. That's all there is to it.
Well,
there is no talent
in today's world. Music isn't made by making albums anymore. It's live shows.
It's not.
And today's tours.
It's by singles and music videos, actually.
Who does music videos? Nobody goes on TV anymore. That was 20 years ago.
No, dude, the top trending music videos is a big thing these days.
On YouTube, at least.
On YouTube.
On YouTube, on SoundCloud.
They don't have the like it used to be, where you could say, "Oh."
Well, no, because there's no MTV anymore, but it's still a very big thing.
But as far as
let's face it, YouTube has a far wider reach than MTV ever did.
Yeah.
But when it comes to bands making their money in today's world, touring. That's where they make their money. Most of these bands don't even put albums out anymore. They don't. Because they don't sell. Like I said, if you sold 300,000 copies in today's world, you did something. But that's not a gold record status.
Well, people, if you want to make that argument, people aren't even selling records anymore. The big thing now is streaming, and nobody makes anything off that.
No, so that's why
everybody has to tour.
Most of your bands they make their money on touring.
Right, because they can't stream. They can't make any money off streaming unless you're, Eminem or somebody like that who has millions of monthly listeners. I can't speak. Yeah, and that's all there is to that.
But yeah, I mean, I can understand you think that James Hetfield is a great guitarist. I'm not saying he's not, but I wouldn't put him up there higher than Paul Stanley.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
Okay, like I said, I'm a musician. I look at the skill.
That doesn't make you perfect to say that this person is not.
No, but it makes me more qualified because I know what good skill is.
I'm 50 years old. I've seen bands played live. I've seen Metallica played live.
Okay,
I
you
saw
never
you
mentioned
have.
that.
I'm
You never
just
mentioned
saying,
that.
I've
That's
seen bands live. I'm not
Was it
saying I
really?
saw a YouTube video because
Did
there's
you-
some bad YouTube videos even for Metallica.
Did
But
you?
I'm talking about actually going to a show and seeing them perform. I'm not knocking Metallica. They're up there. I'll give them top 10. But they're telling me their Kiss status. No.
As a band, probably not, because Kirk Hammett's not very good.
No, he's not.
And Lars is not very good because he messes
You
up.
guys complain about your bands. You think that was bad? You think that was bad?
Oh, no.
What? What do we
My
think? is
uncle,
bad?
my uncle back in late 80s, you know what? Who he saw in concert?
Who?
Ultra Club.
No,
I don't know who that is. Is it
saw
probably
it.
not worth mentioning?
He saw Gigi Allen.
Oh God, no! Don't even mention him.
What, is he garbage?
No, I'll just say my uncle got some poo flung at him. So
Oh my gosh, okay.
Basically,
I actually thought he was going to, script was going to say he went to see Grateful Dead.
well, at least that argument's over with now.
You said you'd enjoy yourself, PJ, when it happened.
Oh,
That's what you told me anyway.
but good lord, even I didn't expect it to get that bloody.
Like I said, we can do a poll on YouTube.
Well,
I guarantee I win.
sales, like I said, that's not what determines it. If we're talking about raw skill alone, it's James night and day. But
You know, there are
if you
some
want to talk
people in
about
this
my
strange
favorite,
world that would tell me Yngwie Malmsteen is the greatest guitarist of all time,
Okay,
no,
and I
yeah.
will punch them in the throat.
Yeah,
Here's the
he's-
thing.
he's
I'm an
he's
Yngwie
not.
fan, and even I don't think he's the greatest in the world.
Yeah, he's not.
Who's your
I
greatest
would-
five greatest guitar players?
Okay,
Five,
all
there
right,
it is.
all right.
Okay,
I'm
All
gonna
right,
tell
go
you this
ahead,
though.
PJ.
I'm gonna tell you this though. Two of them you've never heard of.
All right,
Ian
I
has, but you've never heard of them.
All right.
Number 1, Bob Hartman. Number 2, Stevie Ray Vaughan. Number 3, Steve Vai. Number 4, Val Allenwood. Number 5, Yngwie Malmsteen.
Why did you do that? Why did
that's a
you
good-
ruin the
that's a
list
good
by
list.
putting him on there?
who?
Yngwie Malmsteen.
What don't you
You're
like
only
about
saying
Yngwie?
that because you don't like the fact that Yngwie's kind of a jerk, which
Oh.
I can understand, but doesn't matter when you can play guitar like that.
I can think
Why-
about 3 or 4 people that could have been in that 5th slot instead of Yngwie Malmsteen.
So Phil, before I give you my list,
Go
why
ahead.
don't you like Yngwie?
I never liked
The biggest-
Yngwie.
The
I
biggest
don't like
reason.
him as a person. I don't like him as a musician. He always thought he was better than what he was.
That's true.
And he wasn't. He didn't.
Gotcha.
Look how many times even him getting into an argument with what was that? The guy from Rainbow that came over to sing for him. 2 times
Oh,
he joined his band.
Yeah,
Jolyn Turner, that's who that was.
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
Joe
yeah, yeah.
Turner, even though he had his problem. There was the other one, Bonnet, who did
Oh,
done
great. That's
Grand Bonnet. Yeah.
That's because, okay, and I'll agree this is where Yngwie went wrong. Yngwie was trying to upstage Graham Bonnet in Alcatraz.
Mhm.
That's one.
Gotcha.
That is one instance where I agree Yngwie was in the wrong, because Alcatraz was never Yngwie's band. And that's
Okay.
that's one way that I say that Steve Vai is a better guitarist than Yngwie, because Steve Vai, aside from technically being better on a technical level, he knows when to step back and let someone else have the spotlight. Yngwie is physically incapable of that. And
Yeah.
again, I'm saying this as an Yngwie fan.
Yeah. That's good.
I'd love to hear your top 5. Please don't say Yngwie's on there.
No, Yngwie's not. Yngwie's not even on my top 20, probably. Or 10, at least. He might be on my top 20. Anyway, so I have to say these are my top 5 favorite. That does not mean I think they are the top 5 best in the world, because I have guitarists that have influenced me as a kid who I think are not the best in the world, but because of their influence, I like them. So I don't know if that makes sense or not. Number 5. Man, this is hard because I know so many good ones. Number 5 would have to be. I can't even remember the guy's name. That's awful.
What band is he from?
Whiteheart, the lead guitarist from Whiteheart. I swear.
Brian Wooten?
Yes, Brian Wooten. All right, so number 5, Brian Wooten. Number 4.
I know Bob Hartman's on there somewhere.
Bob Hartman's number 1,
Well, what have we here?
and he probably always will be.
Yeah. Which, by the way, for those that don't know, Bob Hartman is the lead guitarist of Petra. Anyone that you've never heard of, look them up. They are well worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so number 5 would be Brian Wooten. Number 4. Let's see.
The Emperor of Extermination strikes again.
Shoot. Okay, for the sake of time, I'm just gonna go for. Yeah, 4 Val Allenwood. 3 would be Herman Lee. 2 would be Steve Vai, and number 1 would be Bob Hartman. Yeah.
Herman Lee, by the way, of Dragon Force, for those that don't know.
Who is also well worth it.
Yes.
I'm shocked about both your guys' lists,
Why?
but I will give you mine.
Okay.
Number 1, Richie Blackmore. Every guitarist learns the very first song they learn, "Smoke on the Water."
That's because that riff is one of the most overplayed guitar riffs ever. Even
It's
more
still-
so
And
more so than
ridiculously-
Stairway to Heaven.
Even if you took that song off, and forget about it, push it aside, "Smoke on the Water," I still would go with Richie Blackmore, number 1.
I like Richie Blackmore, but for that style of playing, and you're gonna kill me for this, Phil, I
God.
prefer Yngwie.
I hope you know. Okay, number 2 for me.
Oh wait, so you're going 1 to 5? Okay.
I'm going from top to bottom.
Okay,
Number
so your
2.
number 1 is Richie.
Number 1 is Richie Blackmore. Number 2
Okay,
will be
that's
Tony
interesting.
Iommi.
Okay.
That will be my number 2. Number
He
3,
played backwards, didn't he?
he had
No.
to play differently. He has special tips because his fingers got cut off in the machine. So he can't play without the special tips on his hand. So when you see him, and the reason why he sounds that way is because he has to have special little, I don't want to say fake fingertips, but that's pretty much what he got. That's why his sound is that way. He had to adapt when
Fake fingers on his left hand or his right hand?
Number
His
3
his right hand, because he's left-handed.
Okay. But he played
is
guitar backwards, didn't he? Didn't he play right-handed guitar left-handed like Jimi Hendrix?
No,
No,
that's Dick Dale.
Okay.
there's another guy. I'm not sure Eric Johnson plays that way too or
No,
not.
he plays normal.
No. There's another. Michael Card always played like that.
Also,
I don't
Eric.
know if Michael
Also,
Card
a more recent guy, Eric Gales, played that way.
Gotcha. Huh. All
My
right.
num-
So
my,
who's
num-
number 3?
my number 3 is the lead guitarist from what is his name? Dimebag Darrell from Pantera.
Okay.
Never listened to Pantera.
I'm not going to speak to you ever again.
Are you really that surprised, Phil?
It's okay. It's okay. Number 4, and it gets harder when you get to number 4. Number 4, I would go with KK Downing of Judas. Though he's better because when he has Glenn Tippin with him, they're better. You actually can say they're the same guitars, but
So you want to
individually-
do? So you want to just put both of them together at number 4? Then?
yes, because that
All right.
sound, that guitar sound with both of them lead guitarists, it's
I
awesome.
have one thing to say though. Anything, and Ian's gonna back me up on this. Anything that KK Downing and Glenn Tipton can do, Michael Sweet and Oz Fox can do better.
We're not talking Striper, are we?
Yes, we're talking
I
Striper.
get traumatized.
I disagree, PJ. I disagree.
First image comes to my mind is them bumblebee uniforms
Okay.
they used to
Okay.
wear.
Okay. Two things. Number 1, Phil, they are far better now than they ever were. Skill-wise, they're ridiculous now. Then
Yes.
number 2, having said that, they are not as good as Glenn Tipton and KK Downing. I don't think
All
so.
right,
I mean, I give
all
you
right,
that.
all right. But I know you'll agree with me on this one. Anything that Glenn Tipton and KK Downing can do, Herman Lee and Sam Totman can do 1,000,000 times better.
Yes, that is true. That is true.
Again, talking
but-
Dragon Force.
But Michael Sweet is nowhere near the guitarist that either KK or Glenn are.
I have to give my number 5, and it might be a shocker. I'm surprised a lot of people never mention him. Joe Satriani, number 5.
Okay.
Alright.
That's a
That's fair.
respectable pick.
Now, I do like Steve Vai. I didn't like him in White Snake. For me, they were a better guitarist in White Snake than him. That was just a pit stop. And as much as I can't stand Yngwie Malmsteen, I have to say the Irishman, the guy that's still in Def Leppard, that wasn't Dio, that wasn't White Snake. Yeah. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. It'll hit me.
The guitarist that was in
Guitarist. He was in Dio, then he went to White Snake, and then he went to Def Leppard.
He's still in Def Leppard, isn't he? Steve somebody, right?
It'll hit me. But Dio couldn't stand him after that.
I don't know. I
It'll
don't.
hit me.
Oh shoot, what is his name? Steve something.
I can't
think-
think.
He's not a
of
bad guitarist.
Steve Perry.
No, he's good.
No,
No.
not Steve Perry. No, he's a good guitarist.
No, he's not. He doesn't play guitar. Alright, I'm gonna Google this because it's driving me nuts. Who is this guy? He's still in Def Leppard, isn't
He
he?
was the original guitarist in Dio's band.
Shoot. Dio, Def Leppard. Vivian Campbell. That's who it is.
It is Vivian Campbell, the infamous Vivian Campbell.
Yeah.
Okay, fair
He's
enough.
But like I said, Steve Vai, I liked him. I loved him when he was with David Lee Roth. I thought that was his best.
Yeah, that
I mean,
duo.
he's done some good stuff by himself, but
That duo, and then put Billy Sheehan in there. Those three were awesome together.
Yes.
and I have to give one more honorable mention. BB King. BB King.
Okay,
Yes,
well,
BB King.
speaking of honorable mentions, I gotta have Eddie Van Halen and Randy Rhoads.
For me, for my honorable mention, Stevie Ray Vaughan.
You said Stevie Ray Vaughan was number 2.
Oh, never mind then. Okay, my
Well,
honorable mention.
okay to
I'm gonna go Eddie.
Okay to have a repeat.
But only Eddie. I can take or leave Randy.
Randy's awesome.
I would give it to Eddie before I would give it to Randy. Only reason was Randy was gone too quick.
He was gone too quick.
And I'll say this too. Eddie and Randy played almost the exact same style, but did it differently. And for me, it's just a matter of personal taste, preferring Eddie over Randy.
I think Randy is slightly more technically, but they're so close. It's almost a draw.
Yeah.
They were both freaking insane guitarists. Ridiculous. Watching both of them made me want to quit playing forever.
And
Okay, Paul, do 5 drummers.
5 drummers.
You got 5 drummers.
Okay. Number 1.
Number 1 is actually someone that I know in real life. In fact, Ian, you met him once. He's a guy that used to drum at my church. His name is Sean Clayman.
Gotcha.
Do you remember him, Ian, when he came?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
He was good. He was good.
He's my number 1.
Okay. Gotcha.
Well, okay, I'll put it this way. He's my unofficial number 1. If we're going by someone that's actually made a name, then number 1 is Guy Anzalone from Dragon Force.
Yeah. Okay, he's my number 1 too. Number 2 would have to be Sean Benson from Theocracy.
My number 2 would have to be Phil Filthy Animal Taylor of Motorhead.
My number 3 is Neil Peart from Rush.
I would say he's my number 3 also.
And
Number 4, I'm gonna say Ernie Torprin of Theocracy.
Yeah, number 4, the same for me. And then number 5, that's a good question. Number 5's got to be Def Leppard's one-arm drummer. That's insane. To learn drums with one arm like that, that's ridiculous.
Number
Or
5.
no. Number 5 is Louis Weaver. Number 5
Yes,
is Louis
number
Weaver.
5 is
and
Louis
then,
Weaver.
And then honorable mention would be, what is his name? Rick Allen of Def Leppard. What about you, Phil? You
My
probably don't
number
recognize
one
half these
drummer
names.
of all time would be John Bottom. Number one, I have to give him his due. I don't think anybody will play like him ever. Even though his son comes close, but I won't put his son in the top 5. Number 2 would be the drummer from Queen. Number
Okay.
3,
Roger Taylor?
yes, I would put him up there. He has some good riffs up there on some classic songs. Number 3 would be my personal favorite, Eric Carr of Kiss. I don't think anybody today can. I shouldn't say anybody because as when it comes to drummers, there's the ability of one kick drummer with one bass drum, and 2. Even though a lot of people don't like people with 2 bass drums, I do like the sound of 2 bass drums.
Oh, I do too.
Well, no, you gotta have
But
double
here's the
bass.
thing. Phil Filthy Animal Taylor is pretty much the guy that started that.
Really?
Yeah.
Who does he play for?
Motorhead.
Okay, no. Eric Carr was before him, and he
In
was
what
double
year?
bass.
What year?
1980, but he actually started earlier. But talking about
Hold on a second. Filthy Animal Taylor was 78.
All right, you have to remember when we give out the dates. Is it when he started playing, or when he made it famous? When he
made it famous.
Okay, he's 78, and he got Eric Carr by 2. So I will give him that. I can't think of anybody at that time. No, was double bass drums were not popular.
By the way, good night, Kara in the chat.
I'll give you a number 4. I will give it to, and it's hard for me to do it this way because there's a lot of good ones. I like In Peace from Deep Purple. And number 5, I would give it. Forgive me because I forgot the name on top of my head. The drummer from The Who,
Keith Moon.
Keith Moon. Always got to knock over your set like Keith Moon.
All right, here's one for you. Keyboard players, and I guarantee me and Ian are gonna have the same guy at number 1.
Probably the same guy at number 1 and 2.
Number 1, John Lowry of Petra.
Yep.
Number 2, I can't remember his name, but he's the guy that plays keyboards for Dragon Force.
Vladimir No, it's something else. I can't remember. It's Vladimir something or another.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say number 3 is Jordan Rudess of Dream Theater.
Yep. I would have to say
I
this.
do like Dream Theater.
Yeah, I do too. Even though Ian and his brothers think John Petrucci's overrated as a guitarist.
He is.
He's not. I don't think he's the best, but I don't think he's overrated.
He's not the most overrated guitarist in history.
No, that to me is Slash.
Okay, he's one of them.
That's amazing, Babe Malstein.
Shut up.
He's one of them too. He is one of them too. He is overrated.
If all real quick, I just want to let you know I'm gonna go. I'll see you tomorrow night, gentlemen.
See,
It's
Sounds
been fun.
good. See you later. See you later, Pacific.
Number 4 is a keyboard player. David Meese.
Okay.
David Meese can tear it up on keyboard like nobody's business.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that for number 4 also. And I really don't have a number 5, so I'm gonna leave it at 4.
Number 5. The keyboardist for Yes. Phil, help me. Who is it?
It's on top of my head. You're giving me the Papa Rains. I'm trying to remember.
But that man can
He was
play
a good keyboard.
ridiculously good. He still is. He still plays. I just can't remember his name. But yeah, he's ridiculous. The Yes keyboardist. Gotta give it to him.
All right, Then let's settle this now. Top 5 most overrated guitarists.
But you didn't give me a chance to do my keyboard.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. And I don't count people that play a guitar, stop for a show, and do for one song playing keyboard. That doesn't count.
Yeah,
True authentic keyboardist.
Yes.
Okay.
Number 1, I will have to give it to the keyboardist from Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Have to.
Okay. Very
Number
nice.
2, I can't remember his name, and God forgive me, I have drawn a blank, but the keyboardist from Journey.
Oh, Jonathan Cain.
Yes, real good keyboardist.
Yeah.
Number
he-
3 is the one, John Lord, which I should have at 1, but he's the C, so I have to bring him down a little bit.
Okay.
And his replacement, who was the keyboardist in Rainbow and in Ozzy, and is now in Deep Purple. I can't think of his name. But he replaced John Lord. And number 5, the keyboardist, and the only reason why, because I'm reaching, because a lot of bands usually substitute a guitarist to play the keyboard part. The keyboardist from Bon Jovi.
Okay.
That would be my 5. I know there's probably more I probably forget off the top of my head.
He's John Bon Jovi's brother, isn't he?
I think he looks like it, but I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure he is. That's why they named the band Bon Jovi. It's because they had 2 members of the
Let
same
me
band.
do a quick check on that.
I'm pretty sure. I'm positive that it was either the keyboardist or the drummer, and I'm pretty sure it was the keyboardist.
All right. Actually, before we get into overrated guitarists, let's do top 5 vocalists.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so I'll go first. Number 1.
Vocalists. Holy
Number-
smokes.
Number 1 for me. Okay, let me get this one out of the way. Dio for me is an honorable mention. He is good. He is very good, but I've only heard one song by him, and I can't do a number 1 spot off literally one song. So he is only an honorable mention. So that being said, number 1 for me is Matt Smith of Theocracy. Number 2, Michael Sweet of Stryper. Number 3, and yes, I'm saying this one, James Hetfield of Metallica. Number 4,
Okay.
Number 4, I'm saying, again, you guys don't know who this is, but actually no. I'm gonna take back number 3. Number 3 is Yukio Morikawa of the Japanese metal band Anthem. Number 4 is
he plays. He has a YouTube channel where he plays Rocket League.
Yukio Morikawa.
Yeah. He's
What?
short black hair, doesn't he?
You'll have to send me that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same Yukio. He has short black hair and he has a bunch of metal instruments in his room.
Yes, send me that because I want to see it. But anyways, number 4 is going to be Eizo Sakamoto, the original Anthem vocalist, and then number 5 is James Hetfield.
Okay.
So what do y'all think of that list?
I don't know enough about it to say.
I know I know 3 of the people on your list, but I would not put the dude from Stryper, Mr. Sweet, up there in the top 5. But
You would not.
yeah,
Why would you not? That dude has 5 times the range of most singers.
Exactly.
And
I
5
still
times the
don't know.
control and power.
Exactly. And in his
He's
50s
ridiculous.
too. In his
Yeah, in his 50s, yes. Well, 60s now. Yeah. How could you not?
nope.
Unless he was like an honorable mention or something, but that's, yeah.
I mean,
don't understand
I'm
how
not
you
really
do
a
it.
Stryper fan. I know my ex was a Stryper fan growing up,
Oh,
so I had to suffer and
that's
listen
why.
to that. Yep. No, it had nothing to do with that. I will admit, Stryper as a Christian rock band was great. I like his singing. Don't get me wrong, but I can think of 5 better singers on the top of my head.
Okay.
They're better. But go ahead. You go next. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna go number 5. 5 to 1, like that.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's see. I think I know them all. I just gotta figure out what order to put them in. Okay, so the problem with vocalists is I know so many good vocalists that when I rank them, the distance between the ranking levels is ridiculously.
All right, here I'll help you
slim.
out. Number one is me. I'm kidding. I know I'm not.
Well, be positive. Don't lower yourself. Be positive.
I could put you as an honorable mention. That's for
All
sure.
right, I'm happy with that.
All right, Vader, stop choking me. Dang it. All right. Number 5, probably Michael Sweet.
Okay.
Yeah. Aiden, I swear I'm gonna kill you. Number 4, Greg X Volts.
Oh, why didn't I think of him? Okay. I might have to redo mine since I was only
Okay,
thinking
well-
metal vocalists.
Well, listen to me first before you redo it completely, because you might not remember everybody. 4, Rick Florian. No, 4, Matt Smith. 3, Rick Florian. 2.
You can't win. Sorry for the mess.
I might have to think of a 5th. I think I only had 4. All right, let's shift it all up.
All right.
Michael Sweet, number 4. Number 3 is Greg X Volts. Number 2 is Rick Florian. Number
Number 1.
is John Schlitt. I'm missing Matt Smith, aren't I?
Yeah.
Or did I say?
Put him at number 5.
No, he's over Michael Sweet. Just because I like his tone more.
Before I go, you want to redo yours, Paul?
No, go ahead.
Okay. For me, and again, I didn't think it was only for heavy metal, so number 1, I will have to say Elvis Presley. Just, again, in my opinion, Elvis Presley. Number
Okay,
2,
as long as you are willing to accept the fact that Elvis didn't survive whatever that was, he is dead.
there are 2 million women out there that are fans of Elvis. They're going to come looking for you, Paul.
Hey, bring it on. Bring it on.
But
Paul
no,
has-
not
Because think
in
about
a
it this
way.
way. Of those 2 million people, of those 2 million women that would be coming for me, I can make one of them my wife.
All he has to do, if that's not the case, all he has to do is come hide in my bedroom. I have guns on every wall
And a black snake.
and a black snake. Which
Number
will scare half
2,
of them away.
I will go with Ian Gillan of Deep Purple. Love his
He's good.
voice.
He's good.
Number
yeah.
3, I would put him at number 2, but Dio, I would have to say. Love that man. Love
Okay.
that man. Number 4 is, and this is getting harder. I will go with Robert Plant, Led Zeppelin,
Okay.
and number 5 for me will be Paul Stanley. 70 years, he's years old, and he's still doing it. Even though I admit I don't like the last couple years with this backtracking thing. I don't like the backtracks at a live concert. But my man can sing. I know you guys' opinion. Like I said, everybody has an opinion on it. But yeah.
All right.
Oh, and honorable mention: Hanks Williams Sr.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Nothing beats a cheer for my beer, which I'm trying to get Paul to learn.
I already know how to sing
You
it.
but you didn't sing it, and I requested that from you.
No, you
You
haven't.
haven't?
Yes,
I have.
Salty.
All right. Top 5 most overrated guitarists. I'll kick this one off. Number 1 is Kirk Hammett.
Okay.
Number 2 is Slash.
Okay.
Number 3, and this one hurts me to say, Jimi Hendrix.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot me for it, I know. Number 4, Brad Paisley.
I don't know who that is.
Country.
Okay.
And number 5... Oh, man. Number 5, Zach Wilde.
Phil, you go before I do.
Overrated guitarist. Okay, here we go. Number 1. Do you want to
5.
make a guess, Paul?
You have to limit it
James
to 5.
Hetfield.
No. Yingwei Malmsteen.
My next guess was gonna be me.
Number 2, Richie Sambora.
Really? Why?
No. Not saying he's a look. I'm not saying they're bad players, just overrated.
They just don't
no.
live up to the hype.
I never was a fan.
I will agree. I think the only thing Richie Sambora had going for him was his double neck acoustic, which I want, by the way.
It is a beautiful guitar, but he's not. What?
And I never understood the popularity of him. I can't think of his name, but he was the lead guitarist of Rat. And I know they had 2, but I'm not talking.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who it is.
It's not Stephen Crosby. It's the other one, Martini dude. In the 80s and 90s, a lot of people loved this guy, and he was really overhyped. Not saying he was a bad guitarist, but he was a good guitarist. But they really overpumped him. Number 4. It's hard. Number 4. Because I got about 5 people running in my head, and I'm trying to pick one. The lead guitarist of Dokken.
George Lynch.
Oh,
George Lynch. Yes, I love Dokken. I don't love him outside as a solo band. Good. I'm not saying he's a bad guitarist, but I think he is overrated.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that one.
And number 5, and it's nothing against him. I know he's older than a lot of people out there, and he's got bad condition now. But even when he was young and in his prime, Mick Mars of Motley Crue. I'm sorry.
no,
I think he
I'm
was
not a
too
Motley
old.
Crue fan, so.
Even back then, I think he was too old.
Well, how old was he in those years?
All right, let's just say, when in his popularities in the 80s, I think he was the oldest. I think he was already in his 40s.
Ooh.
I mean, now I know he has a problem medically where his bones are aging. Where I think he's like right now, like in his late 70s.
Yeah.
But he's really got bones really bad. I mean, he can't even bend over. His bones are fusing up naturally. It's calcium buildup, I guess. He got something going on there,
wow.
and yeah. But even in his prime, I always thought he was overrated as a guitarist. Not a bad guitarist, just not a great one.
Okay.
Alright. Your turn, Ian. What you got?
Alright, number 5, Yngwie Malmsteen.
I totally support this message.
And this is off the top of my head, by the way. So if I'm laying in bed at night tonight, 2 hours from now, and I'm like, wait, I should have said this guy. This is off the top of my head. So yeah, number 5, Yngwie Malmsteen.
And I just want to stress real quick, this is not the first time me and Ian have discussed this. We've had lots of conversations about this very
yes.
subject.
Oh yes. That's so many of them that aren't.
I know you don't like Kirk
to me
Hammett.
Yeah, but I don't think I would put him as low as 4. I think he would be up higher. Okay, who did I say number 5 was? Okay, no, number 4. No, number 5 would be, I'm gonna switch it. Number 5 would be the, Dream Theater guy, John Petrucci. Number 4 would be Yngwie Malmsteen. Number 3. Yeah, number 3 would be Jimmy Page.
Okay, okay. We're gonna have to have a conversation about that one, Ian.
You know what? I'm gonna agree with him.
Number 2 would be Kirk Hammett. Number 1 would be Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, both of you!
Okay,
Yeah.
here it is on Jimi Hendrix, and I'm saying this as someone that likes him more than Ian does. Anything, and I mean
That's
this
not
by the
saying
way,
much.
anything that Jimi Hendrix could do, Stevie Ray Vaughan could do better.
A million times better.
And I'm gonna go ahead and nip this in the bud too before anyone says it. No, it has nothing to do with race. It's pure skill. Skill versus skill. Stevie Ray Vaughan is better.
Yeah, absolutely.
How goes the battle, General?
Absolutely. Stevie Ray Vaughan made Jimi Hendrix look like a kid. Oh my gosh, Ray. Oh wait, so Phil, you're a freaking Zeppelin fan, so you probably just agree with the Jimmy Page thing too, don't you?
I do think he was overrated.
Oh, you think he was overrated? Okay.
Yes, and I'm saying he wasn't good.
Really?
All right. No,
No, I'm not saying he's not a
that.
good guitarist either.
I'm
but
just saying he was
doesn't live up to the hype
overrated.
that everybody talks about.
If you know anything about Led Zeppelin, you originally know they were the Blackbirds. Not the Blackbirds, the Yardbirds. They changed their name, but the original guitarist of the Yardbirds wasn't Jimmy Page.
It was Jeff Beck.
Jeff Beck.
And Jeff
Give
Beck is
him
the
more.
man.
I give
Jeff Beck is a better
more.
guitarist than Jimmy Page.
Yes.
No, you
And,
are
the-
correct.
and the crazy part is he doesn't use a guitar pick. He just uses his thumb and occasionally his fingers.
Interesting.
I like Jeff Beck. I would say he's good. I wouldn't even put him in the top 5, but he's way better than Jimmy Page. I think Jimmy Page, when he went in there, and the original lead singer that was going to be in Led Zeppelin, when it was still called the Yardbirds, he died singing at a concert. He got electrocuted.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
He was really good. And then that's how Robert Plant got the name. They got the name
Hey,
Led Zeppelin. Sorry, go ahead.
By the way, Ian, I'm thinking last round.
Okay.
Led Zeppelin got the name because they went on tour with The Who, and they said the drummer, no, it wasn't the drummer, it was the bassist, said that you're taking off like a Led Zeppelin.
That's John Paul Jones, by the way.
Yeah, and that's how they got the name. But they
The
changed the name
bassist
from
of
the
Who?
Yardbirds to Led Zeppelin. Another fact, I was wrong. It isn't Jeff Beck that was the first original lead guitarist of the Yardbirds. Eric Clapton was the original guitarist of the Yardbirds.
He's overrated too.
Agreed.
But not enough to make the list, I don't think.
Not enough to make the list.
No.
I don't think. No. Wait, John Paul Jones. What band did you say he was in?
Led Zeppelin
name.
was the bassist.
He was the bassist of Led Zeppelin.
Yes.
Okay, I knew I'd heard that name before. I just wasn't sure where he's from.
All right, here's one for
We're going
you. Overrated
vocalists.
Overrated. Okay, number 1 for me, Ozzy.
Oh my
Easily,
gosh,
Ozzy.
yes.
Oh my God, no! Why are you doing that, Paul?
Ozzy
Ozzy is
sounds
garbage.
terrible
Today or of all time?
all time.
Paul, you're gonna have the mob come after you.
Hey, I've already pissed off the Elvis fans that think he's still
That's what I'm
alive.
saying, man.
I'm making everyone mad tonight. Oh, by the way, Picard is Phil's favorite captain.
No. I might hate you, but I'm not gonna join the mob. Hey.
Oh,
When we
also Phil likes Fallout 4 more than Skyrim.
No.
Okay,
No.
all right. Number two, Number 2, and this is multiple, by the way. Actually, I'm gonna say this. Number 2 is kind of a blanket one. Number 2 is anyone in modern contemporary Christian that isn't Ren Collective. And Ian, I know you have words about that one. But let's face it,
I'd say anyone in general, but yeah.
modern Christian music sounds pretty much the same as each other. And
It sounds
musically,
pretty boring.
it's just boring compared to literally anything else.
Well, hold up. Ain't the singer
Except-
that used to be in Creed? Didn't he go and become a Christian singer?
He always
Yep.
was. Creed
Yeah, but
was a Christian band.
No, they
Main
started out on
Christian,
stage.
but I won't say they were.
Kylo.
I consider the lead singer. I can't think of his name. I consider him
Scott
a.
Stapp. Okay, he's my number 3, by the way, Scott Stapp. Actually, no, I take that back. I actually do kind of like Scott Stapp for that early 2000s radio rock type sounds. Chad Kroeger, however, that's number 3.
Who is Chad Kroeger?
Nickelback.
Oh, yeah. Wow. It's going to be hard for me to limit this to 5.
Okay, number 4. Number 4.
Oh my gosh, Vader.
Number 4 is number 4 is a 2 for 1. Florida Georgia Line. They represent
Florida Georgia Line. Oh my God.
They represent everything that I hate about modern pop country. Literally drinking and trucks and girls.
That's all country music is that's the big 3.
That's why the only good country is old country.
Exactly.
That's why all the new stuff is garbage.
And number 5, I'm about to make Phil absolutely rage with this one. Number 5 is Elvis.
What?
He is good, but
Oh my God! You're gonna have
there's people out there that's
you're
better.
gonna have the Elvis fan club, a bunch of 60-year-old women. You know, walkers and all, Paul. They're coming towards you.
It doesn't
Hey,
matter.
one of those is
Walker's
my
beginning
own
one.
mother. Okay.
You know, I think your mom is probably a dear, sweet lady, but
She is.
that would probably make her want to spank you, Paul.
No, because she raised him, so she knows how he feels.
Yeah.
She knows
All
you
right,
have.
but yeah, that's my 5, and I'll
Wait a
say
minute. Your mom knows you have this dislike of Elvis.
probably not that direct.
Okay. And if she was to find out, I think you would break her heart.
She knows that She knows that I didn't really want to see the Elvis movie.
I don't want to see the Elvis movie. I saw one movie made by Elvis, and it was Kurt Russell, and that was enough.
Okay, so this Elvis movie is supposedly really, 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 really good. If you talk about like a historical telling of his life, it's supposed to be very, very good. And the actor, I think, who played him, they said did a really good job.
I will definitely look for it when it comes on the streaming services, but I wouldn't go to the movies to see it.
Same. All right, Ian.
gonna watch
Who
it either,
is
'cause I'm
your
not
5 overrated vocalists?
Oh boy.
Go ahead and tell me I'm wrong about one of them. I know it's coming.
Wrong about one of them. What were your 5 again?
Okay, number 1, Ozzy. Number 2, anyone in contemporary Christian music except for Ren Collective. Number 3,
Okay.
Chad Kroeger. Number 4, Florida Georgia Line. Number 5, Elvis.
No, the only thing you're wrong on is Ren Collective's overrated too. That's the only thing you're wrong on.
I'll give you this. These days, they're kind of going that same more poppy vibe as the rest of contemporary Christian music. But when they were in their prime, like in Build Your Kingdom Here and all that stuff, they couldn't be beat.
Oh, their first couple albums?
Yeah.
That's understandable. That is what basically what made them, I guess.
Overrated? Oh, that's easy. The overrated bands or singers?
Overrated vocalists, singers.
Vocalists.
Any genre is fair game.
That is quite a hard one. Let's see here.
It's hard because it's not something you hate. It's just somebody you can still like them, but they're just way overrated.
they're overexposed, is what it is.
Yeah.
You hear them too much.
Now, for me, that's not what constitutes being overrated. It's hearing people talk about, oh, I love this guy so much, he's so good, and then it's like, no, he's
No.
actually not.
Can the Beatles count?
Yes, they absolutely can count.
You're trying to give me a heart attack.
The Beatles, U2, Bruce Springsteen. Definitely Bruce Springsteen. John Denver.
What?
God bless you.
No.
How is he?
I love you, Crit.
And and Guns N' Roses, the lead singer of Guns N' Roses.
Okay, I can agree on that one. That whole wah, wah, wah thing, AC/DC
All he
did
does
that
is
better,
whine.
and even they are overrated.
AC/DC is overrated as a band. The only person I like in AC/DC is what's his name, Brian Johnson, singer.
Yeah.
Ryan Johnson, you like The Last Jedi?
Not Ryan Johnson. Brian Johnson
agree.
with a B.
When it comes to
With a
AC/DC, they were a lot better with their original singer before he died in '70. When they had their
They were what?
yeah, Brian Johnson's not the original singer.
We know.
I know.
Yeah,
See, there you
But-
go.
Their original
I'm
singer
Scott.
was way overrated.
but he was good. I
There you
don't
go.
know, but he was good.
There you go, Phil. Little Godzilla Jr. trying to make a burger. I'm trying to...
Okay.
Recent pulp
I
video.
need to know though, Crit. What makes John Denver overrated? Is it me and Phil arguing over him?
No, he's just overrated.
I don't understand how someone like that can be overrated.
Sunshine on my shoulders, heard it too much, heard it
Forget
too
that
much.
song. Forget it.
You need to hear the song
Country
Calypso live
roads, you
before
never
you talk about John Denver being overrated.
foul out. Country roads,
Okay,
take me
okay.
home.
All right,
Fallout
here-
76
Here's a good.
has made it old.
That wasn't John Denver's recording of it though. That was someone else.
It's still John Denver's version, so it's...
No, it's not.
All
All right. Here's one
overrated,
for you. Overrated
vocalist.
songs. Overrated songs.
You
Oh,
get a
no,
chance
I need
for-
to do
you didn't
vocalist
get your
first.
friends
Oh,
to get
go ahead.
a chance.
Vocalists. Ozzy is number one.
Again.
Number two, Dave Mustaine.
Really?
Oh my god.
His voice is garbage. Number three. Tom Petty. Actually, I'm gonna put Tom Petty before Dave Mustaine.
Okay.
And Dave Mustaine be three. Number four.
Hey Ian, that was the last round, by the way.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm gonna go do some shut on them. Number four. I see. The thing is, I could go anybody in pop, so I'm just gonna leave pop out because the whole genre of pop is overrated.
Yes.
And pretty much country too. So I have to limit it to people that I actually know well. All right, four is Robert Plant.
Oh my god, his list is killing me.
Most overrated song, Imagine by John Lennon.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay. Number five would be.
I think you. Hey Ian, you just dragged me into Hero Showdown.
Oh, well, leave the group and you can leave.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Number five would have to be probably the Beatles.
Your list has put a dagger into my heart.
And
Cry
on,
River.
and on that note, guys, we're gonna go ahead and end the stream. So thank you guys for watching. We switched games 3 times tonight. That's a record. And honestly, I don't like really doing that. I like staying on one game the whole time. So this is not something that's going to become normal, I promise. But in the meantime, though, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you tomorrow for Tuesday